Hello everyone, my name is Caden and welcome back to more Paul Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, or in our case, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. Whew. Long story. Long titles. Last time we completed the rest of Trial 3, which was really good. I really liked Trial 3. And now we're going to be doing the fourth episode, or fourth trial, whatever. Turnabout Storyteller. Now, I know this one's quite different. I think this one might be shorter, but it's because I remember that this one's supposed to be more of like a more lighthearted one, considering that the how high stakes the rest of the trials have been so far. So this is supposed to be like a nice little breather. But let's get into it. Episode 4, Turnabout Storyteller. Food.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10.
It's time to die? It's time to die. Shiso's dead. No. Do you think he did it? Oh no. If he did, then what will we do? Pull yourself together. Don't worry. I have an idea. Well. May 13th, 9:45 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 6. What the heck? Yep, we're playing as Athena. I remember that at least. Who brings a defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the request is so last minute, I didn't even have a chance to talk with my client. He's late. A very important date. My name is Athena Sykes. Armed with analytical psychology and a full arsenal of legal know-how, I'm a fully competent defender of the Wright Anything Agency. Though, I wish my client would show up already. The trial's about to start. Here's made just in time. Where have you been? Trial's about to start, Simon. Simon! You needn't get it so worked up, Athena. His boldness can wait. There's no way he'd wait for me. And besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out the gate? Dealing with such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not. Still but a rank amateur, I see. Hey, Simon. Good to see you doing good. This is Simon Blackwell. He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor and a psychology specialist. He and I go way back. As for our shared specialization in psychology, we're both disciples of the same person, so to speak. But he's kind of my senior, I guess. But twisted sense of humor or no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a child all the time. So, where are Wright Dono and Justice Dono? Mr. Ray is abroad, and Apollo is helping Trucy with her magic show. Didn't I tell you? The what? So neither one of them are here, leaving you to take this on alone. Yep. Ye gods. All right, Dono back. It's not too late. Oh no, not too late at all. Oh, he would only need to know how to teleport. Very well. And I will settle for Justice Dono. Go grab him by the horns and drag him here. Apollo's literally in the middle of a show, Simon. You may not want to admit it, but I got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave this to me and go watch from the gallery. As your defense derails in spectacular fashion? No, as I win the heck out of this trial. I'll be okay, I promise. So wipe that look off your face already, will you? Anyway, I take it the guy behind you is... Yes, he's asleep again. Oi, Bucky! Wake up! Oh! What'd you do that for, Simey? Oh boy, he's drunk. Hi! Who's this yellow chickadee? She is your lawyer, such as it were. I'd say she's more green than yellow, however. Howdy. Lawyer? She sure doesn't look it, does she? Is she like your fellow apprentice or something? Something like that. I've known her longer than I've known you. You could say we're bound to one another. Oh, okay. Well, then, guess I better call her Miss Chickadee then. Ooh. Whoa. Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind on it at his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind. Do as you will. Just save it for after the trial. This chickadee. Don't call me that. How'd you do? Damir's an old friend of mine. I'm the 4th generation head of Chef of Wet Soba. Wet Noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Wet. He can pull himself together when he wants to. If only the trial wasn't starting in a few minutes. To my knowledge, I think this trial actually has no investigation period. It's more like, in terms of structure, it feels more like a tutorial trial, except of course it's longer than a tutorial trial, I think. But my point is, it doesn't have like, it's not like a full trial in the sense of you have investigation or multiple days or whatnot. It's that, you know, it's no investigation. Which is interesting, if I'm remembering correctly. Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday. My attorney's badge, it's lost that brand new shine, but that just shows how far I've come. Yippee! Simon Blackwell? Yeah, Blackwell, a prosecutor who excels at psychological manipulation. As far as psychology goes, he's kind of like my senior, I guess. Taifu Tornado, nice. A Rakugo storyteller of 55 years who is famous for his soba-based routines. He has 2 disciples under him in his troupe, so he's the victim. Bucky Wet, my client for this case, and he's 4th head of Wet Soba. He's still got a lot to learn about noodle making. I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy. And you happened to be there at the theater when it all happened too, right? They said they found a Rakugo storyteller murdered in his dressing room. Indeed. The victim, Master Storyteller Taifu Tornado, was a long-time patron of Wet Soba. Master Tornado had been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away. I see. So the victim was kind of like a father to the defendant, huh? That stupid old fart. Like a father? No way. He was always dishing my soba. How dare you speak ill of him? Running your mouth like that is why they suspected you of his murder in the first place. Now, pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. What's deciding me? The police, none of them believe me. They won't listen to me. It looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's going to be right. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You're in good hands now. You mean, you believe me, ma'am? Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end. Gee whiz, Miss Chickadee. Now come on, and you just shape up. Just like those al dente noodles of yours. Yes, ma'am. My soba's the fresh... he's dying! He's dead. Mr. Wet! Bucky, you great big pillock. So, how exactly do you know this guy? I used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do, in fact. So I've known him since he was a lad. That's why his father and Master Tornado were always so good to me. I didn't know you liked soba so much, Simon. I wouldn't expect one such as you, who eats meat slapped between slabs of bread, to understand the delicate taste and the subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour. Hey, that's just rude. I digress. I'm all about flavor and sully and stuff. If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tornado in the next life. I see. And that's why you came to me. You want somebody you could trust. It was never my intention to ask you.
I'll show him. I'll show him I can handle it just fine.
Well, I believe it's just about time.
What? But we haven't even properly discussed the case yet.
What's the matter? You look nervous, Athena. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out.
I'm just trembling with excitement about battle, that's all. Let's do this. I don't know. Come on, Mr. Wright. Get up off the floor. You've got a case to win.
Yes, Miss Chickadee. I'm gonna do my best.
Wet soba. Wet soba.
What?
Wet soba.
What?
Wet soba.
Excuse you?
Wet soba.
What's going on? Is that a phone? It is. Yeah, 2 bowls of noodles. Sorry, Stu, no can do. Got busy at the courthouse. What? They hung up.
Well.
Okay, let's do this.
He's not going to do himself or his case any favors like this, Simon. Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere.
Let me rest? Maybe if I lump regular flour dough for noodles. I'm fresh like my soba. You'll let soba dough rest. It's all about 3 freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh.
He's blocked out! Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are these 3 freshes of soba he was talking about?
First, buckwheat seeds, or groats, are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then, dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so that the soba is fresh when eaten.
Oh, so that's what he meant. I won't want him to make me any soba right now, though, that's for sure.
Athena, there's no time for idle chatter. You need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I will be unable to lend you a hand. So don't expect any help from my quarter.
There you go, treat me like I'm an incompetent again. For your information, I wasn't planning on asking you for help anyway. Ugh, just you wait, Simon. I'll show you.
I'd like to see it.
Mr. Wright and Apollo may not be here. That's alright. I can do this on my own.
Alrighty. May 13th, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Ah, I'm back. Hello. Court is now in session. All rise. Also, I see Nayuta's here. How'd you get over here so quickly? Court is now in session for the trial of Bucky Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor. What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor Saramati. That is correct, Your Honor. To expedite these proceedings, I completed them beforehand in the lobby. How very thoughtful of you. By the way, what brings you back to this country? Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called on me to handle this case. Ah, hey, Edgeworth. Besides, I have a debt to repay. And though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms with sending her down to hell.
Objection!
Could you stop it with hell and stuff?
If you have a score cell, it's with Apollo, not me. But more importantly, I am not a callow thing. I am a qualified and capable attorney.
Then what is that yellow tie if not proof of your immaturity, you small spring chicken? Now, cease your shrill chirping. Oh no, Prosecutor Saramati. She is still only a teenager. Please go easy on her.
Great, now even the judge is giving me the kid treatment.
Very well. Shall we begin, Your Honor? Yes, I suppose we should. Now then, Prosecutor Saramati, please give your opening statement.
I'll show them what I can do. They'll be sorry for underestimating me.
Certainly. Let the last rites of the victim commence. Surely not 4 times will I lose. Speaking of 4, the incident is believed to have occurred at 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th. The storyteller's theater called Kurukuru Te. The victim was a great master of the Tornado School of Rakugo, or comedic storytelling. His name was Taifu Tornado.
The scene of the murder was the theater's dressing room. It is accessible via the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door.
Okay, diagram of the backstage area showing the location of the stage, dressing room, and yard. Got it.
Ooh. The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Well, there's already... This is definitely quite the scene to look at. There's a bunch of stuff spilled, the refrigerator's open, and there's white powder everywhere for some reason. And it seems to be leading out of the fridge. Also, they're playing a card game? Question mark?
The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim suffocated is yet to be determined. The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or stomach, and there is no murder weapon.
Okay, so we got a mysterious death.
I will now submit the incident report to the court.
Crime scene report. The crime took place in the theater dressing room. Master Tornado was found with his face thrust into a large soba bowl. It was autopsy report. The time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation.
Prosecutor Salamati, how can you name Mr. Wet as the culprit?
Hold on. Time of death, May 12th, 2 p.m., 5 p.m. Cause of death, suffocation. Nothing was found in his lungs. So, we need to figure out what actually killed this man.
When you don't know how the victim was killed, or even with what? While it is true that the weapon and precise method are as yet unknown, the accused was the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I will explain this assertion in further detail as we continue. I guess this means he has some kind of evidence to present. Now, would the accused care to plead his case? Where's the accused?
Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes?
Sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid Mr. Wet isn't feeling very well and is resting in the infirmary. Surely it's the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court. Great. Starting off on the wrong foot already. Mr. Wet is the head chef of a soba shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wet went to the theater at the victim's request. Typhoon Tornado was a connoisseur of soba, as you can see in these photographs. He was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there. Liking soba is one thing, but making it in a theater dressing room's a bit much, none?
Master Tornado truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? For a man like that to be murdered by a soba chef is simply unthinkable.
And yet, the accused had an ample motive. For in the victim's safe, we discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wet was to inherit wet soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back.
Really? Found in the victim's possession. It's the deed for the soba shop. The deed holder is Bucky Wet. Murder over the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive.
So that's what this case is about. I wish Simon had filled me in a little better. I could have contributed more than just 1,000 buckets of cold sweat if he had. Defense. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. Well, you see...
Bruh.
You are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. You are an embarrassment to your profession. You putrid egg yolk. I'm sorry. Paul's a red pepper, and now I'm an egg yolk? We've only just started and I've already been demoted from spring chick. I'm ready to call my witness, Your Honor. I also want my butterfly with me. Let us listen to the words of one who was present when the crime was discovered. Someone who was there when the victim's body was found?
Very well. Witness, please take the stand. It's... who? Hi! Hello.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Simon Blackwell, prosecutor.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you didn't tell me you were going to take the stand.
Did I not say
that I was there or something. I could have sworn I said something along the lines of, like, being present there. I may have said that I was just at the shop, but still. Athena, come on. There simply wasn't time. What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. As you shared the damning scene you witnessed beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster. Damning scene? What in the world did Simon see?
Prosecutor Sadamati, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm.
By all means.
This case involves rakugo, a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle the case competently?
Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case?
Not yet. I am simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic. For now.
It is a prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on. I did some research on rakugo last night, and have grasped the overall idea of it.
How much could you possibly grasp in a single night?
Well, allow me to demonstrate. Shall I? Rakugo is a form of entertaining storytelling that originated in the land of Japan. In it, the storyteller sits alone on the stage, with only a fan and a towel and the rakugo artist tells long, whimsical stories, giving each character a distinct voice. This traditional art was originally invented by monks to make sermons more interesting. Are you satisfied? If not, I could explain the 12 types of endings to such stories. Or shall I perform the famous story of Jugimu instead?
Oh. It appears you have put in a bit of study.
Your acknowledgement is most welcome, Prosecutor Blackwell.
I can see why you are known for being quite thorough in your research, Prosecutor. Now, I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned, if you don't mind.
If that is your honor's request.
That...
Are we forgetting a trial? Your Honor, can we please get back to the trial?
Oh, right. I kind of forgot we were in here. I know it's my job, but I'm very forgetful. Of course, I nearly forgot.
Seriously? Of all the things for you to forget.
Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed. Hey, Simon. What Simon saw, what does Simon say? I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out after a while later. Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uendo, apparently then entered the room soon after. That's when Uendo discovered Master Tornado's body. Who? Uendo?
Now just wait a minute here, Prosecutor Blackwell. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Webb of the crime.
All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right?
Well, yeah, duh. Alright, I guess I better start by getting all the info out of him that I can.
Probably gonna need to press all the statements for evidence and stuff. Because I know literally nothing. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m.
Hold it!
Okay.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what did you go to the theater for in the first place?
I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. It was a special show commemorating his junior disciple Wendo's promotion. It was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Uendo II.
So what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name?
You really don't know, do you? In the performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name.
I see. So there was another Uendo Rakugo artist before, and this disciple succeeded him, huh? And what exactly did your invitation say?
It contains a simple letter of salutations, and an outline of the show's program. Oh, it appears Tornado was going to perform Toki Soba, or Time Soba. He's famous for his masterful pantomime of eating soba, using only his fan as a prop. Innuendo was to perform soba say, or soba glutton, a soba-themed show, I see. It seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, your baldness. The first to perform was the senior disciple Geru, followed by Uendo, and lastly, Master Tornado. The invitation Simon received from Master Tornado to the show commemorating Uendo's name, succession, and promotion.
I see. So that's why you happened to be at the Storytellers Theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived?
Before we do that, I want to look at what I just grabbed. Inside the envelope was a ticket to the show and a letter from the victim. The letter contained a simple greeting and a rundown of the show's program. Geru was to perform her balloon act, then Wendo was to do the soba glutton routine, and finally, Master Tornado was to perform his time soba routine. Okay. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello.
Hold it!
And how did Master Tornado appear when you said hello to him?
I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately we didn't actually meet.
You didn't see him. Why not?
Geru escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done.
You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room?
Yes, not just me, but Geru as well.
In other words, you can confirm that the victim was still alive at around 4 p.m.
Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornado. I could tell because there was this time sober routine being performed in there.
Oh, so that means the victim was killed sometime after that.
Okay. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out while later.
Hold it!
Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared at the time.
Geru and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, and Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things.
What happened after that?
We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room looking rather irate.
This is most likely when the murder was committed. The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes. I better come up with some kind of counter-argument, and fast.
Master Tornado's junior disciple, Wendo, apparently then entered the room soon after.
Hold it!
What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him go in?
No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Geru was right in front of it, so I'm sure she saw a door.
I see. And why do you suppose Wendo went to the dressing room anyway?
He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. A disciple is to pay their master respect right before and after each performance.
And all disciples are expected to do this?
Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists.
I see. Could you tell us what happened after Wendo went into the dressing room?
Certainly. That's when Uendo discovered Master Tornado's body. Whoopsie daisy.
Simon has no reason to lie, but I also don't have much to go on. I better ask all the questions I can.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying about anything. At most, he might be mistaken about something, but I doubt it.
Hold it!
And how did Wendo act at the time?
After Uendo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Uendo came flying out.
Did you hear any signs of a struggle at that time?
No, just Uendo's woeful scream.
I see.
Okay. Well done, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events.
Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. And now, please allow me to summarize your testimony.
Alright.
While Prosecutor Blackwell and Geru were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow. He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room. And about 10 minutes later, he came back out of the room, seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Wendo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Wendo gave a scream and came running out into the hallway from within. Prosecutor Blackwell and Gayru then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves.
Alright, so that's the sequence.
From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim.
This is crucial testimony indeed. Simon's eyewitness account of the time of the incident.
Defense, an eyewitness has given conclusive testimony. Why not let it all go now and allow the victim to his last rites? How many times have you lost now?
Master Tornado was confirmed alive at 4 p.m. Bucky Wet entered the room at 4:10 p.m. and left it at 4:20. Wendo discovered the victim's body upon entering the room after Bucky left.
Not in your life. If Wendo went to the dressing room too, and was the first to discover the body, then who's to say he didn't commit the crime? Wendo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed murder in that time, nor without making any noise. Oh, Simon, why did you have to give that awful testimony? Whatever. Prosecutor Blackwell, could you give me something a little better to work with here?
Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I'm certainly willing to tell you all that I know. So, if you truly are as capable as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself.
This is no time for your twisted games, Prosecutor Blackwell. Just admit you don't remember it all that well.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. Uh-oh.
I
can't speak that.
Prosecutor Blackwell, watching you collude with the defense like this, I see that you are no prosecutor. Be gone, witness. You shall haunt this sacred hall no more. How dare you treat me like some evil spirit being exorcised? Now remember this, you blackguard. Don't worry, Prosecutor Blackwell. I got this. Would I have my way, you would not be the only one to step down. You half-boiled putrid egg yolk. Ew, I object to the notion that I'm a gooey, smelling mess. Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time, he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution.
And who is this witness?
The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She is another entertainer of the Tornado School, Miss Gayru Tornado.
Huh? Yeah. Wait. I just remembered a lot seeing you. And, I've also remembered a lot, of what other people think of this character. Huh. Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Tornado School of the Twisty Twisty Twist. And balloon. There you have it. A stunning balloon hat. It's me, balloon artist you all know and love, Gary Tornado. Just call me Gary, sweetie. 1, 2, balloon.
Dear God. What a way to capture the audience's attention. I guess I can't... Nope, not saying that.
Please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor. For the love of God. Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm so glad you like my performance. Would you consider joining my fan club? Pretty please.
Oh, absolutely.
And please save your fanboying for after the trial, Your Honor. Anyway, Gayru. I can't help but notice, you seem awfully cheerful for having just lost your master. Of course I'm sad. Jiso would scold me if I didn't put up on a big smile. Never show sadness. Smile, smile, smile. With a twisty twist twist.
Cake. Yippee.
Ham balloon. There you have it. One gorgeous cake. I see. I guess an entertainer's gotta do what an entertainer's gotta do. Her balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test. All I saw was a severed monster head. Geiru, you're obviously a balloon artist. So, how'd you come to be a member of a Rakugo school? Well, my late father, that is, was a Rakugo artist, you see. So I joined the Tornado School to be just like my daddy someday. I see. My father and I owe so much to Shiso, our master. Lucky Wet. Oh, how could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible.
Your distress is entirely understandable, and my condolences for your loss.
And not only that, but he... You have more to say about Mr. Wet? Every time he comes to deliver sodas, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away. Is there any reason why he would say such a thing to you? He says the smell of my perfume will get into his soda and ruin it. But how can he say that? It's a great scent.
How very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset. Could you stop showing favoritism, Judge?
Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Geiru's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Wet hasn't been proven guilty yet, remember?
It will be interesting to see how long that fire of yours will last, Defense. Now then, Geiru, please share the truth with this court. Yes, Geiru, your testimony, please.
Can I not be ignored, please? Help!
Before the murder was discovered...
From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m., when Shiso's body was found, Mom and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before Wendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky. Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugimu was barking like mad.
Jugimu? Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have any objections to this witness's testimony? I'm back. Hello. No. Make up your bloody mind, Sadmuk Salamadi. First you exercise me, now this. You need only to do as you are instructed by this humble servant of the Holy Mother. As there are no objections, Your Honor, let us move on to the salvation of the victim's soul.
Hold it! Hey, I'm the defense attorney here, Prosecutor Salamadi. And I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine the witness. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with.
There's a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kuraianism. Stir the wind is beyond the power of a spring chick. In other words, the inexperienced are useless. With that in mind, it seemed more judicious to consult Prosecutor Blackwell. He doesn't even see you as an adversary, Sykes Dono.
Well, I won't let either one of you insult me. I'll show you I'm no inexperienced spring chick. Your Honor, I'm ready to cross-examine the witness.
I hope you can make Prosecutor Salamadi see you as a worthy adversary, Miss Sykes. I'll allow your cross-examination, so you'd better strike while iron is hot. For once, it sounds like you might be in my corner? What a surprise and a half. So, from 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20, when Shiso's body was found...
Hold it! So, the murder must have happened sometime in those 20 minutes, correct? But 20 minutes isn't a lot of time, is it? I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say? That's what happened, you know? Isn't that right, Simon?
Yes, Geiru and I can both confirm that Master Tornado still lived at around 4 p.m.
Oh, yeah. You can, can't you? See? 7 hours.
Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room.
Hold it! The fact that the two of you were there in front of the dressing room means you were able to see everyone who went in and out, right? Of course. Or are you insinuating I was daydreaming or sleeping while standing up or something? No, of course not. I saw everything, I tell you. Fine, so you'd say anyway. Did you really?
Before Wendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky.
Hold it! Only the defendant and Wendo entered around the time of the murder? That's right. That's why it must have been Bucky who killed poor Shiso. let's take a deep breath. Okay, Gager? So, not a single other person set foot into the dressing room during that time? I already told you over and over, didn't I? There was nobody else. I must apologize on the lawyer's behalf. Even her memory is that of a spring chick. Please overlook her transgression as best as you can. Oh, I see. Poor thing. Hang in there, sweetie. Hey, who are you calling a bird brain, buddy?
Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugimu was barking like mad. Who is Jugimu?
Hold it!
Jugimu? It's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisty twist twist.
Dog! That is a terrifying dog.
And balloon! There you have it, my cute little Jugimu. He's kinda creepy looking. Oh, but he's a really, really good boy. And why was Jugimu barking? Do you think it's because he saw someone suspicious? If so, then we'd have a new suspect in this case. Now, why was he barking again? Oh, I remember, because it was time for me to feed him. So I went into his yard and gave him some food. Couldn't somebody have slipped into the dressing room while you were doing that? Nope, the door onto the yard was wide open. I would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room.
I don't think that's right. Can you add that to your testimony?
Prosecutor Blackwell, come down to the stand for a sec, please.
How many times must I do this? Can I just sit down here, please?
You saw what Gabriel was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before?
I can't be expected to remember every minute detail.
Well, remember them now, please. Did Gabriel go out into the yard?
Yes, I remember now that she went to feed Jugimu. And I saw her looking towards the dressing room quite frequently as well. I don't think that's possible.
Do you recall anything else?
It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. Jugimu couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in a corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Okay. Includes additional info.
Looks like Gabriel was telling the truth. Your Honor, I'd like Gabriel's last statement to be added to her testimony.
As you wish, defense. It's in the yard, but the door was wide open, so I could keep watch on the dressing room. Maybe I'm in the wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised, but...
Objection!
Yeah, of course not.
So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard. Is that correct? That's right. The door out into the yard was wide open.
That doesn't matter, though.
Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area.
Considering where the dog food bowl is positioned, and it doesn't matter what way you look at it, there is no possible way you could have seen the dressing room door.
There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the witness's testimony.
Oh? I'm afraid I don't understand, Miss Sykes. Please point out what contradicts the witness's testimony. I don't exactly know which point I'm supposed to reveal here. But I would argue it's the dog bowl. Nope.
Difficult ideas make my head hurt.
Yeah, and they're gonna make my head pop! Anyways.
Take that!
Gabriel was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the doors of the yard had been left open.
Yeah, that makes even less sense! Oh, I see.
Yes, if the door of the yard was wide open, as Gabriel said, it would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room. What? No way!
But even if there were admittedly a few moments Gabriel was not keeping watch, how much would that really affect this case?
It would greatly affect the case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see the dressing room door either. Anyone could have entered the dressing room during that time without being seen.
Up. Double slam.
Garu, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room? What?
Objection!
Hide the fact. You speak as though you think she had something to do with the murder. Rather than deliberate deception, it was more likely a simple oversight, right, witness? Well, I was so shocked by what happened, I was just confused. That's all. Even though she is trying to keep up a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is that she is being torn apart by grief. For her mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected.
Yes, it must be very difficult, indeed.
To a disciple, one's master is akin to a real parent. Surely her shock is immense. The way this lawyer tries to pin the blame on this poor soul at the first opportunity. All I can say is, defense attorneys are heartless creatures indeed. Wasn't what I was trying to do. Is it beyond your comprehension, defense? Your unskilled argument is scarring this witness even further. And if we ask the people of this courtroom, I am sure they would agree. What? The gallery doesn't get a say in this! Are you afraid to find out not that they think ill of you, or that perhaps you are in the wrong? Listen to them now with that keen sense of hearing you are so proud of.
Sorry, she had to go up for.
They're kind of sorry for Wiz. Why is the lawyer's office yellow?
Oh, I was just trying to find the truth. He has a whole gallery signed with Prosecutor Samadhi. The people understand. They know what is right and what is wrong.
The lawyer's still in training, isn't she? Why is she all by herself?
I hear the voices of the gallery. I hear the voices of their hearts. It's so intense. I feel so alone up here, fighting by myself.
Are you afraid, child? It is ludicrous to come to trial with such paltry preparation of the soul. I command you to leave this courtroom at once.
But I can't give up. I have to keep pressing on. As long as there was a moment when nobody was watching the dressing room door, the defendant can't be convicted solely on Prosecutor Blackwell and Gaber's testimonies.
Even now, you would continue to resist. You are childish in defeat as well, I see.
I'm not out for the count yet, Buster. I'm just getting started.
Despite your posturing, is it not true that your resolve could crumble at any moment? With but a little push, you would surely succumb to despair. A little push such as with this piece of conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence, huh?
That is correct. We found a critical piece of evidence at the scene of the crime. The victim's dying message, which clearly implicates the accused Bucky Wet. Oh dear. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karuta, lined up on the table. These special English version karuta cards spell out a message. That message, wet number 4.
A number 4? You mean wet noodle number 4?
Yes, wet noodle number 4, as the fourth head chef of Wet Soap is also known. This message points to none other than the accused, Bucky Wet.
No!
That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh no, this is really, really bad. What do I do?
Would you still carry on your futile fight in the face of this irrefutable evidence?
You can say whatever you want, but we won't know until...
It is cruel to give the accused false hope. You will only compound his suffering. Wise people of the courtroom, do you not agree? He's right. It's cruel to make him suffer when there's conclusive evidence. One in common and new, but feel bad for the victim and the defendant.
But I'm trying to prove Mr. What's innocent here.
I know you can hear them, defense. Their voices implore you to save the accused soul.
It's time for you to let it go and move on, you inexperienced lawyer. You lack the competence with which to accomplish anything meaningful here. Is he right? Is this too much for me to handle on my own?
How good is she doing anything, bud? She just quit right now.
Now, defense, leave everything to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Silence!
Uh-oh. You've angered the samurai. Oh, he's over here.
He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you to manipulate the trial, Athena. What a cheap trick for a supposedly holy man. Simon! You fool fop doodles in the gallery. Can't a man watch a trial in peace? This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around.
Does that prosecutor really think she can turn things around?
This courtroom is starting to change.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you doing at the defense's bench?
I grew bored of watching from the gallery. I want to join in the fight. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to the spring chick and lose my favorite sober shop in this process, I will be quite cross. You voluntarily stand on the side of impurity and sin. Truly, what a fool you are. To think you were so easily manipulated by his parlor tricks. Whatever happened to qualified and capable Athena? I just let my guard down a little bit, but it won't happen again. Then gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle. I'm not girding up for anything in this skirt. I am ready to get serious. It seems there's now yet another soul I must cast down into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest. Ah, but the fires of hell will not be the end of your suffering. For the sin you have just committed, you shall surely be reborn as a panda in your next life. A white and black reverse panda, that is. And you shall be put in a zoo to be exposed to public ridicule. I feel like that won't work on Prosecutor Blackwell. After all, he's already used to looking like a panda in this life. Who are you calling a panda? Sorry. I see that you are both prepared to face the fires of damnation. Geru, thank you for your service. You may step down now. Okie dokie. Bye-bye, balloon. Weird. Does everything have to be about balloons with her? Now then. I have a witness prepared to testify about the Karuta cards.
And who is this witness this time?
First to discover the body, and someone who witnessed the crime scene firsthand. Mr. Uendo Tornado. The time has come for that ponytailed pair over there to finally let it all go and move on.
Very well. Let's bring in this witness then. What the? Oh, he's sitting like I am right now. Hi. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Also, can I have a pillow?
I am the Rakugo storyteller Uendo Tornado. Even if my performance isn't worth watching, I'll certainly watch my words. I wouldn't want to say anything thoughtless and get arrested. After all, that'd be a Rakunono.
What?
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
What? No, get back here!
Hold it!
Where are you going?
You can't leave yet. You've only just introduced yourself. Oh my! Are you a fan of mine, miss? Would you like my autograph? One moment.
What? Wee!
Ow. Ow. What do you think you're doing? No need to stand on ceremony. My fan deserves a fan, after all. A fan for a fan. Nice one. Oh, Ivan, is it Simon? How are you on this fine day, sir? Quite a dilly of a pickle we've found ourselves in, wouldn't you say?
Don't believe I've ever seen you talk quite so much, Wendo.
Never performed in a place like this, you know? I got butterflies here, can't you see? Why do I always get the weird ones?
Pardon me, witness. As much as I enjoy your banter, I believe we had better return to the case at hand.
Ah, I suppose you're right. In that case, I was promoted to Futatsume yesterday and received the stage name of Wendo. The show was our way of celebrating my new name and middle rank standing. And then that happened. Huh. I never dreamed something like that happened. Not in a million years. Just like I got my chance to start repaying my debt to Shiso, too. Yeah, plus, I'm worried about Geiru. The way she clung to Shiso. Whole thing. I told her to keep a stiff upper lip. Stiff like rigor mortis. Keep telling those lame jokes and Shiso comes scolds you from the grave. I wouldn't mind getting yelled at, you know, if it meant seeing him again.
Are you talking to yourself?
Wendo, please, as charming as your various characters are, this isn't a Rakugo stage. Let us hear your testimony now, witness. Tell the court about the evidence left at the scene, the proof of the accused's guilt.
Listen, I talk to myself sometimes, plenty of times, in fact. But this is taking it to another level. Shiso's dying message.
I know Shiso's dying message right away. The stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, you see. Hey now, enough of the silly puns already. Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky. That was the Master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth. And so likes Shiso not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style.
Well, that was certainly a more entertaining testimony than usual. The variety of characters performed by the witness was absolutely splendid.
But he shouldn't be performing any characters in the first place, Your Honor. Innuendo, the murder weapon hasn't been determined yet. So how can you say that the victim was drowned in soba broth? It's obvious. All you have to do is look at the crime scene. He was found with his face shoved in a bowl. It's only natural to assume he was drowned in the broth for noodles. Except we're not here to assume things, Wendo, so please just stick to the facts. My, it's so like a soba chef to kill someone this way, wouldn't you say? With the Karuta message he left behind, it's clear Bucky Wet did it.
Setting aside the issue of a murder weapon for now, that dying message certainly does seem to be irrefutable evidence.
Indeed. It proves the absolute guilt of the accused. Oh, even I've got to admit that I can't see how that message can mean anything else. Bucky used the soba for the deed. I'll take it back, the soba shop deed.
Oh boy.
This testimony makes Mr. Wet look super guilty. I have to do something.
This is conclusive evidence. What a farce.
What do you mean, Simon?
What's this? I thought you said you weren't planning on asking me for help.
I did, and I won't, thank you very much. Simon must have found an inconsistency in the testimony. I'd better listen carefully and try to see what he found.
Alrighty. Shisho's dying message. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away.
Hold it!
Wendo, when you say you saw the cards on the table, what made you think they were Master Tornado's dying message? Well, it was a coded message right there next to the body. I'm sure anybody else would have thought that they were there to name his killer. I love murder mysteries and often watch them on TV. Oh, I see. I saw a similar scene during a murder mystery marathon last Tuesday. That's what made me think this must be a dying message.
Bruh. The stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, you see.
Hold it!
Bruh. The cards were on the table your master's body was slumped over, right? You must have been surprisingly calm to notice them at the time. As I said, the stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, so they were hard to miss. But wouldn't it have been more natural to notice the victim rather than the cards? The message just caught my eye, because the stiff cards were right there next to the stiff. Yes, but that fact hardly seems significant enough to make a person take note of them. Stiff cards, next to the stiff. So basically, there was no real reason for them to catch your eye, was there?
You're not. I'm not entertaining you right now, buddy. Enough the silly puns. Focus.
That's right. I need you to give your testimony, not perform a scene. Please remember what you're on the witness stand, not the stage.
But look at all these wonderful people in the audience. It's only natural for an entertainer to want them to have some fun. I guess we can let a few jokes slide, right?
The inevitable bleeding of your work into other areas of your life. I know how that is. I find myself being unwittingly judgmental in my personal life, too.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Well done, Your Honor. Guess you can't judge a judge by his cover.
I advise the defense not to be so critical of the witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Much obliged.
Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky.
Hold it!
The cards do spell out wet number 4, which could be interpreted as wet noodle number 4, I guess. I suppose you took this to mean Bucky wet?
There's only one wet noodle around here, and you've seen that giant 4 on his back. It's the only interpretation that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Wait a minute.
What is it?
What if there's another wet noodle in the area? What? Did I say something strange?
Bucky is the sole heir to the shop.
So not with the ludicrous straw grasping. Hey, how was I supposed to know?
Just listen to the testimony again and find the glaring inconsistency.
Hold it!
So, the victim lined up those cards in his final moments? How can you be so certain that's how it went down?
I know, Shisa. He would never let someone get the last word on him, even in death. With his face in the soba broth, and his consciousness fading away, he left a message that pointed toward Bucky as he left this world. The only way it could have happened.
Wait, the only way? Now you're just speculating.
Look, a dying message is something you leave as you're dying, right? I saw a scene like that in a detective.
Wendo, we have a saying in my country, silence is more precious than diamonds. So shut up, please. Please do not speak any more of this. It's than necessary.
But talking is my livelihood, you know? I talk all the time. This and that, truths and untruths. I can't stop myself from talking.
Hopefully, he'll stick to the truths, without any of those untruths.
It's so like Shiso not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain simple wasn't his style.
Hold it!
But don't you think it's strange? Could a dying person really leave such a convoluted message?
Even in its throes of death, it was in Shisho's nature to throw in a twist somehow. Truly a consummate entertainer to the very end, don't you think?
Was he really that great of a man, Simon?
Would have been no easy task, to be sure. But, who knows? He wasn't an entertainer for 55 years for nothing.
If I ever bite the big one like that, I want to leave a message as good as Shisho's.
Well, let's hope it never comes to that. Simon, are all Rakugars like this?
It's odd to say. It could simply be the eccentricity of an entertainer, or perhaps he's hiding something.
Well, he doesn't have to entertain people in a court of law. And if he is trying to hide something, maybe it'll show up as a contradiction or something.
That was the Master's final message left as he was drowning in soba broth.
Objection!
Yeah, but there wasn't anything found, buddy.
There's a contradiction in Wendo's testimony.
And would you care to explain where, Miss Sykes?
Look at this. Certainly, Your Honor. According to the autopsy report, nothing unusual was found in the victim's lungs.
Oh, yes, it does say that, doesn't it? Stop drinking. Hey!
If he had drowned in a bowl of soba, then there should have been soba broth in his lungs. But since there wasn't any, it means the victim was suffocated with something other than soba broth.
What?
This is the contradiction you noticed, isn't it, Simon?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I guess I showed you.
But if drowning in the soba broth wasn't the cause of death, then when was the victim's face thrust into the bowl?
Wright Tornado's face was thrust into the bowl.
It was, if I had to take a guess, it had to have been after, right? Because that's the only way that no soba broth would be in him.
Because no soba broth was discovered in the victim's lungs, his head must have been placed into the bowl after he was killed. And that's when the soba broth must have been spilled onto the Karuta cards. In other words, the victim could not have lined the cards up as he was drowning.
I see. So it was done after he was already dead. But why would the culprit do such a thing?
I'm afraid I don't know yet.
Objection!
Uh-oh.
You left yourself open. You boast of psychological expertise, yet you cannot determine such a simple motive. My sides are liable to split the absurdity.
What? And I suppose you know why?
Of course, desecrating the body in that manner indicates a strong sense of enmity on the part of the perpetrator.
Yes, that does make sense. It certainly paints a clear picture of the culprit's intense feelings towards the victim.
Feelings of resentment over the theft of the sober shop's deed, no doubt.
That's great. Now the judge has an even more unfavorable impression of Bucky.
Silence!
Uh-oh.
Must you come undone at every juncture? If the culprit had time enough to set up Master Tornado's body, do you think they would have honestly failed to notice the dying message?
Good point. The cards were right in front of his body, after all.
It's likely that they said something else.
Rationally speaking, there's no way the culprit could have missed that, huh?
Objection!
Ah, but was the accused rational at the time, given the way he stormed out of that room?
Silence!
Never mind that. I have something more important to ask Uendo.
Me? You saw the Karuta guards firsthand, did you not? Would you care to tell us about them in a bit more detail? Those tiny crime scene photos show us a little, precious little of what I wish to know. Well, those cards from Shisha's special soba scenes of Tokyo Pass set. Each card is related in some way to soba.
Spare me the history lesson. Just tell me how the cards looked at the scene and no more.
Well, there was a soba broth spilled all over them.
That's not much help, I'm afraid. Oscar Salamari, do you have a photo that shows the cards more clearly?
I do. Please accept this meager offering, Your Honor. Look at this scroll.
Oh my, what delightful looking cards. Wet number 4. Yeah, I can see what that means, obviously. Wavy, Hound, Equipment, Traditional, Nostalgic, Ouch, 4. Well. Telling Broski's Sad Monk's conclusive evidence apart should be a breeze with this.
Huh?
Don't tell me you haven't noticed.
Don't be silly, of course I have. Not noticed anything, but I can't exactly say that now, can I?
Oh, wait a minute. I think I see the problem. Hang on. Let me look at those one more time. Yeah, I see the issue. These stains make 0 sense. These stains make literally 0 sense because they've been moved around. Wavy should be probably around, let's see if I can try and figure this out. So Wavy only has like a, okay, hang on. Looking at this, H might have been at the bottom right. Yeah, so H is at the bottom right. I would say that at T is probably at the bottom middle. So TH at the bottom middle. Ooh, wait a minute. N here, TH. It's 4, so fourth. Fourth is down here. Fourth is the bottom. And then O is probably top left, I'm assuming. O is top left. The far right top row is N. So fourth O blank blank N, so O W O in fourth. O in fourth? Well, go on then. Alright, let's do or die. All I have to do is study the picture and... These cards were rearranged. Simple as that. These cards were rearranged.
But how can you tell?
Please take a good look at these cards, Your Honor. The answer is right in front of us.
Where exactly should we be looking, Miss Sykes?
The soba broth stains.
Please focus your attention on the soba broth stains on these cards. The outline of these stains don't match up with the larger stain on the table.
Oh, would you look at that? You're absolutely right. And
Please recall that the soba broth was spilled and got on the cards after the murder, when the victim's face was placed in the bowl.
yes, go on.
By the stains, we can see that the culprit deliberately rearranged the cards after that. In other words, this message was altered in order to pin the crime on my client.
What? Then, if we put the cards back in their original positions...
We can restore the evidence and see who the cards were really pointing towards.
That's true.
What are we waiting for? Let's do this. All I have to do is rearrange the cards so that the stains match up. Let's see, where was this W card originally?
So, place card here.
Okay, the H card is next.
O in fourth.
Yes, now the E card.
O in fourth. So, is there a fourth person named Owen?
Great, fits right there. N's next. Let's see, where was this N? Now, O. Nice, almost done now. Last card is 4.
I'm surprised they make you do this, but oh well.
Take that!
O in fourth. So what does that mean?
The message wet number 4 was originally supposed to say Owen 4th. And this original message is our clue to the identity of the true culprit.
What? That indignant look on the prosecutor's sad monk's face is positively priceless. It's absurd!
So it was originally Owen fourth. It wasn't win number 4? These lawyers are smarter than we thought.
Order in the court. Well, I never would have imagined that there was more to these cards than meets the eye. He originally spelled out Owen fourth. So, now that that's settled, what does this Owen fourth mean?
Wait, am I...
Who else do you suppose is to provide an explanation? Of course it's you.
But I hadn't thought that far ahead yet.
Change the cards around all you'd like. But if you cannot explain what the message means, then it is as worthless as you are, defense.
No! And so the spring chick that fancies itself a graceful swan is brought back down to earth. I have to do something, but what? Steal your thoughts for a second. There's a perfectly good witness to question over there. Oh, right. That's a good idea. Come on, Athena. Get a hold of yourself. Window, does that phrase Owen Forth mean anything to you?
No, there's no one named Owen in the Tornado family or our circle of friends.
Go ahead. Ask anybody you'd like. You can't be serious. Having rummaged through your empty mind, I see you have, as expected, turned up nothing.
Silence!
I'm afraid I have no idea who the devil this Owen Forth is either.
But the fact remains that the cards were rearranged to pin the blame on Mr. Wet. That in and of itself proves the defendant is the real culprit. Prosecutor Blackwell's right. Besides, the important question here is not who does the message point to, but rather who rearranged the cards. Why didn't you point that out earlier if you already knew? Sorry. In any case, there were two opportunities for someone to rearrange the cards. The first was when Mr. Wet entered the dressing room, and the second was when Uendo discovered the body.
Are you accusing me of rearranging the cards? Me, who came to testify out of the goodness of my heart. Well, you didn't exactly come running out screaming straight away, did you? Even a mere 2 or 3 minutes is more than enough time to get up to some devilry. So what exactly were you doing in there, Wendo? Enough. Put down the tea and spit out your answer.
Mr. Prosecutor, what's a guy supposed to do at a time like this? Silence is more precious than diamonds, witness. Therefore, you need only stay silent. The defense is devious. They are waiting for you to make a slip at the tongue. Oh, I see. So that's what they're after, is it? In that case, Your Honor, I decide not to say another word. Very good. After all, your right to remain silent is protected by law. Well, Prosecutor Blackwell, any other brilliant ideas you'd like to share?
Did you hear that, Sykestone, huh? A Rakugo horse who's afraid to speak. Who's ever heard of such a thing?
Are you trying to taunt him into talking? Such a petty trick will never work.
That's right. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm only asking to hear your story. Besides, is it not your job to tell your tales if there's an audience to listen?
Even so, I have a right to refuse the answer.
The more you keep quiet, the more we want you to talk. That's simply human nature. Isn't that right, people of the gallery? Well, it's kind of interesting being with Blackwell, having him turn the audience for us.
Even with this wonderful audience in front of you, you still refuse to talk.
If so, then perhaps you chose the wrong line of work, my friend.
Are you saying I should quit? Because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I'll have you know. Oh no, never mind what I just said. It's scary to talk. It's absolutely terrifying. No, as a Rakugo artist, I must talk. If I don't, how can I ever show my face on stage again? Your Honor, I'm ready to testify. He did it. He managed to convince Uendo with his power suggestion technique.
Bully for you, Wendo. That's a real Rakugo artist. That's as a real Rakugo artist should be. All right. If the witness wishes to testify, then by all means, please do.
Be turned by such an obvious ploy. What a man of weak spirit.
Sorry, Samari, but you're for once, you're the one with not the power here. In the dressing room.
After my performance, I went to visit Shiso. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shiso slumped over the table, motionless. From what I can tell, there do not appear to be any inconsistencies within the testimony. Of course there aren't. because I'm not trying to hide anything.
Prosecutor Soundmoney's right. I don't see anything inconsistent either. But I did pick up on some fake discord in Uendo's heart.
Ponder all you would like, defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation.
Hold it!
I think it's time for a therapy session.
I disagree, Your Honor. I detected discord in the voice of the witness's heart. That's a clear indication that Uendo is facing some sort of inner turmoil.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Miss Sykes?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to conduct a quick therapy session on this witness.
Objection!
Uendo, there's no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool! Why will you not listen to the guidance of this humble son of the Holy Mother?
If the witness wishes to proceed, I see no problem, prosecutor.
Well, I do! One in one ear and out the other.
It seems this performer has no need for your so-called guidance, Prosecutor Sadmonk.
You've called me sad monk one more time, I swear to God, I will throw these beads and suffocate you.
Just know this, Uendo. Your folly will surely earn you divine retribution.
Thanks, Simon. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity you create for me.
Just keep your wits about you.
I will. Uendo, could you tell us again about what happened in the dressing room?
Let's see it. Let's get this therapy session started. So, what exactly is creating all this noise inside of you, buddy? After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless.
You know what? I actually have an idea of what's already weird.
There are 2 points of which that I want to look at. This one first. He didn't reply.
Got it!
Never mind. Thing is, these don't actually count for damage. Some doesn't match.
Match. I see matches in... managed to assert a thoughtful, calculated hypothesis. In other words, you are the something that here that doesn't match, correct?
It appears you'll match.
No worries, that was just one match. There's still the rest of the game.
Got it!
This is what it was. You're not surprised he was dead.
Uendo, I'm noticing something strange with these emotions.
Something strange with cheesy toast skin, you say?
No, something strange with these emotions. How'd you have hurt some thin stranger with cheesy toe skin?
I don't know. Maybe it's me who's got some cheese in my ears. Also, when did I get lower?
Did he pull the floor open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke?
My man is leaving. Anyways, get back up here.
The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where we can see you.
Bailiff, please bring the witness a few extra replacement pillows. And can you find where he sent the other ones? Did he send them to another dimension? What's going on? Where'd they go? There we go. Now there's too many.
So, what is this unexpected thing you notice?
Could you go down? Oh, come on. His honor only said a few, not a few dozen.
Now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue, Miss Sykes.
Who's laughing? Ugh, folks, Athena, don't let yourself get rattled. When you entered the room and saw your master slumped motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked, Uendo. Don't you think that's a little odd?
Is it, though?
The lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. And I think I know why. The reason Uendo wasn't shaken when he saw his master's dead body is because...
he probably already knew somehow. He already knew his master was gonna be dead.
Uendo, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaken was because you already knew you would find your master dead.
What kind of a thing is that to say? You've got it all wrong. Oh, right. Just remembered something. I thought Shisha was sleeping when I first saw him. You thought he was sleeping? Sounds plausible, but... What made you think he was asleep? Well, he had his head and arms up on the table, as if he were taking a nap. Oh, and one other thing. There was that note, too. A note? What note? Ah, he must be talking about this. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisa was napping?
This is a pretty reasonable assumption.
You've gotta be kidding me.
A note thought to have been written by the victim before his death. I'm noticing that it's torn, though. And with camels on it.
That's right. When I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisa was asleep. I want to change my testimony to include that statement. Alright, I'll run an update.
Before we get into that, I want to see something. Is there any point at which we can find other camel things? Oh, actually there is. Oh, it's on the wrapping. Wait, this is wrapping paper then? Yeah, it has to be. Actually, there's the scrap right there, I think. It's on the left. Look underneath that wood stick that's under like some sort of like plastic cover. Camel, yeah. I went to visit Shisho. Called it to him from outside the room. But he didn't reply. Info update. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. But something seemed off, so I rushed over to him. I was shocked to find him dead. I couldn't believe my eyes. May I ask something?
Got it!
Why are you angry?
Window, I know something funny in your emotions again. Funny, you say? I guess an entertainer of my caliber can make people laugh, even with my emotions. I didn't mean that kind of funny. Quite the opposite fun, actually. When you entered the dressing room, I see that you suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is, what made you feel angry all of a sudden? What? Let's see. Oh, yeah, now I remember. I was going in. I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. Better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, Window. I'm afraid it's something we do need to look into. I don't really see anything you could have stubbed your toe on. In the area around the dressing room door area in this picture. But maybe there was something there at the time. Window, what exactly did you stub your toe on?
Objection!
What an irrelevant question. You dishonored the soul of the victim with these unnecessary delays. You tell her. Really, who doesn't stub their toe every once in a while? You really gotta fuss over every little small detail like this? Well, the thing is...
What are you looking at me for?
Even the most subtle of fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us in on the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Plus, if I back down now, who knows what new insult Simon will hurl my way. Is there really no trace of what Window stubbed his toe on by the door?
Oh, wait a minute. There might be. There actually very well might be.
What in the world might have been there then, but is there not there right now?
Take that!
Nope. is not there now.
Take that!
Hmm. What did you stub your toe on, bucko?
Take that!
Please take a good look at this photo of the crime scene. Do you see it? This long track that goes from the door all the way across the room.
Now that you mention it, I do see traces of something being dragged.
And the drag mark ends... there, at the TV. This implies that the TV was originally by the door.
So you stubbed your toe on the TV?
I'm convinced that this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, window, how about it? Yes, you're right. It was the TV. There's still some noise left, though. There, the noise level dropped again. Yes, I stubbed my pinky toe on the TV. But what of it? Why is this so important to you? So the noise went down, but it hasn't completely disappeared yet. Which means he's still hiding something. Okay, then let's try this tactic instead. Window, why was the TV moved there? Shisho must have moved it so we could watch my routine. But what a place to put it, right in the middle of the doorway like that. I didn't want to bump into it again, so I put it back where it belonged. Performances on stage can be viewed in the dressing room using that TV. Yeah, that's right. It's a closed-circuit monitor that shows the stage.
Interesting.
I see. Now what? I can't find anything else out of the place. And I still haven't gotten the noise level down to 0 yet. Simon, I'm still getting noise here, but I don't see anything else fishy.
This is precisely why amateurs are such a bother.
Sorry.
I'm in no mood to blame nursemaid here, but if that's what it takes to save the sober shop... Boy, window. Here's a curiosity for you. This table Master Tornado is slumped over looks like it was moved. Did you happen to bump into it while you were moving the TV back?
Oh my! Yes, you're right. The TV hit the table, and Shisho's body moved with a jolt. That's when I first realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, but how scared I was.
I see. Thank you. We're finally getting a more precise picture of how the body was discovered. But I'd wager you need to put the spurs to window just a trifle longer.
Right. I can't keep asking for Simon to bail me out like this. It's time for me to regain my footing and really stand out on my own. Window, what you said just now about discovering your master's death, could you please describe all that again for the court in detail? All right. But before you do, let me just plug in the latest information.
Alright, let's get back to it. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. I tried to enter the dressing room, but stubbed my toe on the TV. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh, Shisho. Alright, I see the problem. Ueno.
Got it!
Why the sudden surge in surprise?
That's odd. After the initial shock of finding the victim dead, you reacted with surprise again. What was it that surprised you, Endo, besides your master's death? What do you mean? What's more, you were even more surprised the second time than the first. What could have surprised you more than finding your late master? Search me. You're a little thing, you must have made a mistake.
Silence!
The girl is as sharp as a trout, to be sure. But her ability to hear people's emotions is absolute. Now, get to remembering, Endo. What was it that surprised you?
That was a compliment, right?
Well, Uh-oh, what the? noise.
No, we pushed him too hard, and now he's mentally all over the place. His emotions are completely out of control.
Out of control? Can you explain how that's relevant?
You know how normally I listen for the hidden emotions in a witness's voice, right? From there, I look for inconsistencies between their testimony and those emotions. But sometimes a person's feelings can run too high, making it hard to get proper readings.
So that's how your Matrix program works. Fascinating.
Ordinarily, it's just one emotion that runs out of control. But it seems there's nothing ordinary about this time.
Overflow of anger!
After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, a sudden surge of sadness, but he didn't reply. I opened the door. I thought he was sleeping. The surge turns to surprise. I tried to enter the dressing room, but stuck my toe on the TV. The surge goes back to anger. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Once again, it goes back to surge of surprise. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh, Shisho. And it went back to sadness.
I knew it.
What's got your knickers all in a bunch now?
The window has multiple emotions running out of control at the same time. I've never seen anything like this. Ever.
So how does one bring a situation like this back under control?
I'll have to find the root cause of this tangled mess before I can treat him. If I can identify what is causing this emotional rampage, then I can probe to dive in further. I'll need to point out into what I think is the root cause and hit probe again. Through this process, I can identify exactly what's causing Windows so much distress.
And that will help bring his emotions back under control. In that case, let's get started, shall we?
Alright, I can't guarantee success, but it's definitely worth a shot. Time to look for the root cause of Windows' rampaging emotions.
I think I've got an idea of what it is. Because this all started after a certain thing was pointed out. And that one thing that was pointed out that seemed to start everything back up again was the cards.
Got it!
Yep, the cards are what started this surge.
I get it now. The cards were the root of it all. Don't try to deny it. You can't hide your feelings from me. The dying message that was left at the scene of the crime is what was causing your distress. And if the dying message was the cause of all those feelings, then that means the phrase "oh and fourth" must mean something to you.
There we go. Sweet silence. Bye-bye. So, oh and fourth means something.
There, noise level 0, finally.
The dying message consists of 2 words, Owen and Forth.
But neither of these 2 cards have anything to do with this witness.
This topic warrants no further argument.
Sure, there may not seem to be any direct connection between the window and the message. For now. But why don't you wait and decide what's necessary after you hear my theory?
I trust you've hit upon something, Athena.
Yep, if my theory is right, we can finally solve the case of a window in the mysterious Owen Forth.
No, go on then. I can already tell this promises to be interesting. Now, please, share your theory with the court, Miss Sykes.
There was something puzzling to me about the window's out-of-control emotions just now. Namely, that there were 3 distinct reactions present.
I remember his deal. 3 distinct.
I'd never seen that before, and I wondered how it could be possible. Is there a conclusion to this meandering musing of yours? Hold your horses, I'm getting there. So, could a person flip between 3 distinct emotions of such intensity like a switch? In the end, I conclude that it just wasn't possible.
So that's it, is it? A bit unconventional, but I'll grant that it's possible within the realm of psychology. Within the realm of psychology? I'm afraid you'll have to explain for the old man up here on the bench.
Your Honor, my theory is that a window
has multiple personalities.
With so many distinct personas, it's clear to me that the window has dissociated
dissociative identity disorder.
What does that even mean?
Your Honor, the defense would treat this trial as a child's jest. Multiple personality disorder? A preposterous proposition indeed. Would you not agree, witness?
How'd she know? How'd she figure it out?
Hey, Sanmari, I think you're in trouble.
I can't believe it. I did it. I did it, Simon. I've read papers on it before, but to think I'd see a case of it for myself.
Blimey. Rakugo always tells stories as different characters, but as different personalities? Hey, you, lawyer girl. You got a problem with us, huh?
No, no problem at all.
This is all very hard to believe. But now that we've established that the witness has multiple personalities, could each of them please introduce themselves to this court?
Uendo Tornado. I'm a Rakugo storyteller, as you know.
The happy one?
Hello, everybody. Hey, Patches, the friendly jester here.
And?
Kisegawa. Courtesan.
And is that all of you?
I don't think so.
Yes, that's all of us.
So there are 3 personalities in total. Wendo, Patches, and Kisegawa, huh? Well, Simon, what do you think now?
As your one lucky duck. Just be glad they were dense enough to help you out.
Can you just straight up say I did a great job for a change?
You appear to be quite proud of your self-defense. But all you have done is infringe upon the privacy of the witness.
I couldn't disagree more, prosecutor. Now that we know there are 3 personalities, a new way for us to interpret the meaning of a certain piece of evidence has arisen.
A new interpretation.
Oh, now I'm very curious. What is this piece of evidence you're talking about, Miss Sykes?
Knowing what we know about Owendo and his personalities, this now makes perfect sense.
Owen's a 4th personality. So I think it's about time we get an introduction to him, shall we?
Take that!
The Karuta cards?
That's right, Your Honor. Recall the original dying message left at the scene. We didn't have a clue as to what Owen Forth could have possibly meant. But now, with this new information about Owendo and his personalities, isn't it possible that Owen Forth actually means a secret 4th personality of Owendo's, a personality named Owen?
What? Oh, God!
Owendo must have kept his dissociative identity disorder from us because he didn't want to be associated in any way with that dying message.
No, that's not why. We kept our disorder as a secret for a different reason altogether. We've been taking advantage of our affliction to act as various Rakugo characters. If word of this got out, well, our reputation as Rakugo artists would be tarnished, as would the Tornado name. That's why we kept it a secret from everyone, except members of the Tornado School. But really, there is no 4th personality. It's just the 3 of us in here.
A plausible enough sounding story. But it doesn't prove you didn't rearrange the cards, does it?
I will concede that it is highly likely that witness rearranged the cards. Is prosecutors have I actually agreeing with us?
However, is it not also possible that the accused killed Master Tornado and then left that message in order to frame the witness? And upon noticing the cards when he found the victim's body, Wendo rearranged them.
Silence!
A fantastic tale, but a tale nonetheless. No one outside the Tornado School knew about Uendo's multiple personalities. Uendo just finished saying so himself.
Ah, that is true, but ultimately meaningless point. The witness was only in the dressing room for 2 to 3 minutes. That's far too little time to commit murder, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
Then who's to say he couldn't have done it before his discovery?
Objection!
That spring chick memory of yours. Have you already forgotten Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony?
Simon's testimony? Oh,
Garu escorted me to the dressing room. We heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within.
Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done. That's right. Until just a few moments before Window entered the dressing room, Typhoon Tornado was confirmed to still be alive. No! Not only that, but Window was on stage until before he discovered the body. A bulletproof alibi that I have already confirmed with several audience members. Oh no, please. I also heard that his Rakugo performance that day was a steaming pile of... Well, you get the picture. Yes, I'm afraid so. I really stunk up the stage, I did. And yet, I have a perfect alibi. Indeed. Why not land the coup de grace on the defense by describing your alibi, witness? Okie dokie, Smokey.
Alright, witness testimony. Need a drink. Windows alibi.
I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room.
The entire audience was my witness.
My performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. Window was on stage before he found the body, so he could not have committed this crime. It is time to let it all go, defense, and move on.
Well, get this, Prosecutor Samari. The Wright Anything Agency never gives up. We fight to the bitter end.
Allow me to say this once more. Let it go and move on.
And allow me to say once more, I'm never giving up.
Let it go and...
Never!
This is pointless. You should have taken advantage of this opportunity while you could, you foolish child. Your worthless convictions only serve to prolong the accused's suffering. If words will not sway you, then perhaps pain will.
Huh? Uh-oh. Help! Ow! Oh no! Anything but this! Ow! Don't squeeze! Help!
What's the big idea, Prosecutor Samari? That was but a small dose of punishment for your misguided convictions. Are you now a bit more inclined to give up as instructed?
As if.
In that case, you must require another dose.
Oh, thanks! Not bloody likely.
I don't give two flips about your beliefs. But if Sykes don't know what to submit to you here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore.
That's right. For Mr. Wright's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach, I will never give up.
You will rue those words, defense. Of that, I can assure you.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Today is not that day. So get used to it, buddy. Windows alibi. There is immediately one statement I really want to press, but let's just go through it normally.
How can we be sure it was you who was on stage?
Are you asking whether I could have been some imposter?
I guess so.
Unlike a big arena, a Rakugo theater is a cozy little place. It would be hard to fool an audience in such an intimate setting, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Good. I'm glad we could clear that up, because I guess you could say...
The entire audience was my witness.
Hold it!
Was there anything special about the stage or your performance that you can tell me? For example, were the lights dimmer than usual? Were there any problems or accidents?
Not a thing. Everything was the same as always. Mr. Prosecutor, you questioned the audience, didn't you? Yes, of course. Apparently, nothing seemed amiss to them except, well, one small thing.
One small thing? Oh, it's so embarrassing. I tried my best, really. I did.
But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed.
Hold it!
Do you have any idea what went wrong?
I'm not sure if it was my performance or if it was just that particular audience. Maybe it was the story I picked. But every entertainer knows that this kind of thing happens from time to time.
I guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder how he could have flopped at his own commemorative show. Maybe I should dig into things a bit more.
What did you perform, if I might ask?
Could you tell me which Rakugo story you performed?
I could, but I'm not sure if it would mean anything to the uninitiated.
Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me?
Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba.
Time Soba? Huh? Maybe Wendo's right. He only said the name of the routine and I'm already lost.
Ah, so you performed Time Soba, did you?
What? You know what Prosecutor Samari?
In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. I must say, Defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial.
I was only called here last minute, I'll have you know. Simon, what's Time Soba about?
Look it up yourself. Allow me to give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? What can I get for you? I see you've got seaweed topped hanamaraki soba. Mixed toppings with... I have a bowl of shippoku, and my good man. Sure it's cold tonight, isn't it? But there's nothing like a hot bowl of noodles and soup to warm the soul. You know it, sir. One shippoku coming right up. So, how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great, because things can only get better from here, right? Right, prosecutor. The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he is done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. How much do I owe you? That'll be 16 mon, sir. I see. Sorry, but I only have small change on me. I'll count the coins into your palm, so could you hold out your hand for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thanks. Goodbye and bye.
Very well done, Prosecutor Marty. That was excellent.
Huh? I don't get it. What was so funny about that?
Don't you see? The customer paid with coins, counting them out one by one. Then, just after counting 8, he asked about the time, and the soba vendor answered with 9.
Oh, now I get it. He made the vendor say 9, and then he continued counting from 10.
Exactly. He cheated the soba vendor out of 1 mon with his smooth talking. The story continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same. He bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 mon for his soba. The story ends on that as a punchline. As the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. Or, I'm sure Prosecutor Sadmonk over there would love to perform it for you after court.
So basically, it's a story about a man cheating on his soba bill. That's kind of petty, isn't it?
Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? Time soba is such a well-known staple of Rakugo that the skill of the artist is critical.
Objection!
Fine, so you studied a lot. But we haven't the time for a lecture detour right now, Prosecutor Sadmonk.
Oh, I really want to hear a little more. But I suppose it is off topic. Getting back to the matter at hand, Miss Sykes, the witness stated that the story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add the statement to his testimony?
I want to add it. Put it up.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added.
Very well.
The story I performed is called Tokisoba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Whoopsie.
The audience is witness. Wendo has a pretty unshakable alibi, doesn't he?
You're not giving up, are you? Was that never say die spirit you displayed earlier?
Of course I'm not giving up to Simon. I just know Wendo has something to do with this case.
But how will you connect him to the crime when he has an alibi as strong as that?
I don't know just yet. But I'm going to press his testimony and keep an eye out for contradictions.
I want to look at another statement. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed. Can I ask about this?
Excuse me for asking, but do you bomb like that on a regular basis?
Well, aren't you a regular rude daisy? Do you really think a Rakugo artist who regularly bombs would get promoted? In fact, I'm known as the Tornado School's whirlwind of laughter, I'll have you know.
Is that really true, Simon?
The nickname is a bit of a travesty, if you ask me.
But his Rakugo is solid and well received, yes.
I see. But yeah, Whirlwindo of Laughter is a big ol' stink bomb of a name, isn't it? Whew, what a relief. I thought it was just me. I mean, Whirlwindo of Laughter is great. Funny stuff. I'm glad you like it.
Alright, I got nothing out of that. The story I performed was called Tokisoba. Wait a minute. Hang on, something about that. Now that I think about it, that doesn't seem right. Aha. That's why.
Objection!
You were supposed to do Glutton.
Window, isn't there something odd about the routine you performed?
Odd? No, I don't think there's anything odd about it.
But that's exactly what I find odd. The fact that you don't think it's odd.
Objection!
We are discussing the witness's alibi at the moment, Defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant.
Objection!
I don't think so.
That's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Samari. The reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Window, do you know what this is?
No, what is it?
This is an invitation to the show sent from Master Tornado to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Sober was to be performed by Master Tornado himself.
No!
Window, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do?
Well, you see, the reason for that is... how do I say this? You see, let's say it was a prank? That's right! It was just a little joke, you see? I was trying to surprise Shisho by performing his routine before he did.
I don't know if I buy that. Was doing the victim's routine really just for laughs, or... Hey, didn't Simon happen to hear Time Soba coming from the dressing room? During the Window's performance on stage? Seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be?
That's it! What's the matter? You look like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay.
Stop comparing me to birds!
No. Then cease this bird-brain timidity. If something has occurred to you, then lay it out for us already. Don't breed resentment in those watching your performance.
Okay. I don't have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. It looks like Window's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case.
Are you referring to Soberbill, the man tried to skimp on the witness story?
I'm not talking about the Rakugo story, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. But then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes?
What Window may have been trying to deceive us about was...
It's probably... I would assume it's the time the victim died.
The Window tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death.
What?
Objection!
What's gibberish? Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death.
I know. But he only testified that way because he and Geru had been completely taken in.
You mean by the Soberbill thing?
Would you please forget about the story for a second, Your Honor?
I was deceived. Pray tell, how did Uendo manage to deceive the two people while he was performing on stage?
It's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room.
Oh, and what might that be?
Prop Uendo used was...
The TV, wasn't it? If the TV can look at the stage, then all he had to do is play play what he was supposed to be playing.
Take that!
This TV was used to view what was happening on the stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Uendo doing?
He was performing Time Sober.
Blast! Could it be?
Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Geru heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. It was Uendo's performance as heard through this TV's monitor speakers.
What?
With the TV just inside the inner door of the dressing room, it could easily be heard from the hallway outside.
And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Sober, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at the time, rehearsing.
Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is why the two of you could be fooled this way. Simon, did the voice you hear belong to Master Tornado?
The door's in the way, I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. But because I heard Time Sober, I just assumed it was Master Tornado.
Oh, I can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game.
Objection!
All of that is mere conjecture. Where's your proof, defense?
Objection!
Didn't he literally just say it?
Wendell moved the TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might have figured out the trick he was playing. Ugh. And then there's one more thing about Wendell's actions that's suspicious.
And that is?
The fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion.
What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip up once in a while, you know?
But I believe that this time it was intentional. Because Wendell knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room.
Oh my!
Yikes! All just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. Plus, if the voice Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu heard was due to Wendell's scheming, then the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Wendell could have killed Master Tornado himself.
We've got you by the stones now, Wendo. So you better confess everything.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
We demand an explanation. Wendo!
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
But you don't admit to the crime. You admit only to tampering with it.
Is it the defense's claim that Uendo Tornado is the true murderer in this case?
If he tampered with the crime scene, then we have to at least consider him a suspect.
Now wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shiso.
Then why did you tamper with the crime scene?
I refuse to answer that question.
What?
Uh-oh.
If you suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. What could it be this time?
Uendo has absolutely no reason to murder Taifu Tornado. After all, why would Uendo kill the man who has recognized his skills and promoted him?
Oh, well, his motive was, I can't think of a single thing.
It appears you are also not aware of one other fact.
And that is?
That the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at that time?
What? Nobody told me Mr. Wet had also gone there before 4 p.m.
Were we only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m.? We were only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to mention it. But now that you have made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant...
I don't like where this is going.
So, you really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you?
Well, it was all very sudden, and, why did you wait until the very last second to contact me, Simon?
Don't you give me that look. I wanted Wright, Dono. And just so you know, Bucky never told me he had visited the Master before 4 p.m. either.
This sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling me unprepared.
The defense will stop squabbling this instant.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Prosecutor Salamati, please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense, you know the soba-making implements in the dressing room, correct?
Is he talking about the equipment for making the soba noodles?
Yeah. You speak of the large bowl that is used to mix buckwheat flour and water, the long rolling pin, and the special knife that is used to cut the dough into noodles. Precisely. These tools all came from the accused soba shop.
You mean they didn't belong to Master Tornado?
Mr. Ware visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba-making lesson. That visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles... he committed the act of murder.
What? Wait, that doesn't add up. If Mr. Wright killed the victim before 4 p.m., why would he return to that room at a later time?
Huh? Uh-oh. Who? Who? Ah! Uh-oh. Oh, he's got a skateboard! What, Soma? You can't complain when it comes to noodles. I'm still drunk. Oh my. I am Miss Chickadee. Hey, Simey. The reason I went back is because Master Tornado ordered uncooked noodle.
Mr. Wright?
Whoa. I got it. Yesterday, I brought noodle-making tools to the dressing room at around 2 p.m. That's when Master Tornado ordered the uncooked soba noodles to stock up on.
Uncooked noodles to stock up on?
Yes, ma'am. Master Tornado kept a supply of soba noodles from my shop in his fridge. You only have one serving left, so I went back to my shop to get some more.
One serving of noodles in the fridge? I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, the whereabouts of the missing noodles isn't all that important now.
You ran into me and Geru when you came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct?
That's right, Simey. I made it out of my busy day delivering the noodles. And you know what? He ignored me when I called him to the dinner doorway. You just get mumbling with Kugel lines for ages. So I got mad and went back to my soba shop.
Ah, so that's why you got mad. If what you're saying is true, then there's no way he could be the murderer.
I swear I'm telling the truth, Miss Chicky.
Bailiff, quick, get this man to the infirmary. Well, I dare say he's quite the handful.
Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wright made just now into evidence.
Objection!
I believe the accused's statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true. For it falls within the victim's estimated time of death. It opens up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4 p.m. That's some critical information. Yes, Your Honor. But other than that one point, Mr. Wright's statements are dubious and without proof.
Objection!
But they are the words of the defendant himself. Simon, back me up here.
He has a point. If I were a prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either. While I understand the defense's feelings on the matter, this court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit.
Now what do I do?
I trust you have no further objections, defense. At last, the time has come to send the soul of the victim onward to the Twilight Realm.
Silence!
What are you yammering on about, Prosecutor Sadmonk? We still have something we need to question Uendo about.
We do? Like what?
Well, don't just stand there!
But we don't have any evidence left to present.
Have you forgotten already? Isn't there still a hidden witness you have yet to question?
Hidden witness? Oh, that's right! Yeah, oh wait. Your Honor, there's still one more issue we haven't finished discussing yet.
Oh? And what is this bit of unfinished business?
We haven't finished discussing this issue related to Wendo.
Owen.
We still have to discuss the possibility of a fourth personality, the one named Owen.
Are you suggesting that this false personality of the Windows might be the true culprit?
Jeez, not that again. I told you we don't know anything about this Owen.
Look, Wendo, I know you don't have any motive to kill your master, but this Owen may have one for all we know.
Come clean now, Wendo. You've got another personality stashed away, haven't you?
Please tell us everything you know about Owen.
That's enough. The witness has already stated that he knows not of any Owen character.
Bravo! You tell him, Mr. Prosecutor.
Hey, Patches. If you claim you don't know Owen when you really do, that sounds amount to perjury. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, however, well, that's a different story. Do not listen to the depraved prosecutor witness. You will be tainted with his evil. Really? Do you have any idea how dark and cold a prison cell is? I exercise my right to remain silent. What's this now? Changing horses in midstream, are you? Shut up! I will remain silent, and that's it.
Patch, force! You stay out of this! Patches is not the brightest bulb in that box you call an organ, is he?
The fact that he switched from I don't know any Owen to I will remain silent is proof that he does know about Owen. There it is again, Simon's formidable psychological manipulation tactic. I'm sure glad he's on my side today.
Objection!
This is ridiculous! You dirty, despicable, depraved prosecutor! You are leading the witness! Witness, there is no need for you to submit yourself to the defense's questioning.
Objection!
Your Honor, Wendo is definitely hiding something. Please allow me to question this witness about the existence of Owen.
I suppose only this witness can confirm or deny the existence of Owen for us. Very well. I will allow the defense to proceed. Oh, Kunka!
Not letting go of this one so easy. About Owen? I've never met any personality named Owen. Batch was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely know if a personality like that showed up.
How dare you treat me like a criminal based on mere conjecture?
Wow, how am I supposed to deal with the testimony of 3 personalities? Unless you can prove the existence of Owen here, it's all over. You'd best screw your courage to this sticking place and attack their testimony head on. Alright, I will. Just stop piling the pressure on me. I have to draw out some info. Anything to drag Owen out into the open.
Alright, here we go. Right. Examination. If I could stop yawning, that'd be also nice.
I've never met any personality named Owen. Whoopsie daisy, I meant to hit press.
I haven't saved since the Mood Matrix, that's impressive.
Hold it!
Met, huh? Met, huh? Sorry, I had something in my throat. Is that how you experience each other? Like people meeting on the street? Well, it's more like all 3 of us are always here. And the personality that's most suited to the moment is the one that comes out. So when you're out, Wendo, what are the other 2 doing? Well, we never know when our time will come, right? So we stand by and listen. So that means all 3 of you share the same memories. I never really thought about it, but I guess that's right. I see. Thank you. Please, continue.
Alright, so... Patches was just blurting out nonsense in a panic.
Hold it!
Patches, can I have a word with you, please? Why, hello! You rang? You said at first that you didn't know anybody named Owen. But then you exercised your right to remain silent. Were you afraid of committing perjury? Well, you see...
I'll take over from here if you don't mind. Listen, I hate to say it, but Patch is about as smart as a sack of rocks. If you grill him with a bunch of highfalutin words, he's going to want to keep silent.
I see. So looking after loose-tongued Patches is your role, is it, Miss Kisegawa?
Well, I don't know about that, but... Anyway, I do know that Patches was just flustered, and that's why he decided to remain silent.
We're always aware, so we definitely notice if a personality like that showed up.
Hold it!
But what if, for some reason, you 3 were unconscious at the time of the incident? If the 3 of you weren't alert and aware, what would happen? What would happen? I'm not even sure what you mean. I mean, you 3 share the same memories, right? But what if Owen is different? What if he has memories separate from yours? Maybe Owen merges when the 3 of you are unaware or unconscious.
Objection!
Instead of speaking as if this fourth personality is a foregone conclusion, I suggest you prove his existence first. Well, we've already seen 3 personalities. A 4th wouldn't be a stretch. Really? Really, please? You dishonored the victim and this court by jumping to such conclusions without proof. Have you ever heard these old sayings, Prosecutor Somebody? What happens twice will happen thrice. If you see one, there are likely 30 in your home. I'm basing my theory on such premises.
Comparing us to cockroaches? Do we bug you that much, girlie?
But how do you intend to prove it? How will you prove that all 3 personalities became unconscious, as you say? Unless you can do that, all of this talk is merely empty speculation. Well,
Don't be so timid.
if you don't have it, then find it. Look for something that could render Uendo and the others unconscious. Simon's right. I can't back down now. For my client, Mr. Wet, I have to. Wait, Mr. Wet?
No, you rush. Maybe for a lump of regular flour dough for real noodles. I'm fresh like my soda. Your soda dough fresh is all about the 3 freshes. Grind the buckwheat fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil it.
Ow. He's blacked out! Mr. Wet? Falling unconscious? Wait a minute, I think I've got it.
Besides, do you have proof to back up your theory? I don't know if I do quite yet, but I do know one person who may be able to get it for me.
Yes, Your Honor, I do. The proof is right here in this crime photo.
It is. In that case, please point out to what supports your theory.
Wait, is it? Wait. Is it? This
Take
thing.
that!
Wait, no. Wait.
I can do it.
Take that!
There's something in the photo.
Take that!
This is probably what made Uendo lose consciousness.
Ah, yes, sake. And isn't it just like Master Tornado to pick up a fine brand like Campbell?
Sake? Oh, you mean rice wine.
Oh, please. Don't call it rice wine. That's so unsophisticated. It's not even wine. Silly girl. Silly girl. I must agree, you need to become more cultured, Athena.
Tomato. It's made of rice, and people get drunk from drinking it, right?
It's called sake. End of story.
Fine, sake it is then. Ay, caramba, everyone's so touchy about these things.
I recall Master Tornado would often have a drink or two before performing. He said it made him more eloquent. Drinking too much of the stuff can make one lose consciousness, though, of course.
And look, there are 2 glasses there on the table. Window, I believe your master offered you some rice. I mean sake. And then you must have drank too much and passed out. And that's when your 4th personality, Owen, emerged.
I drink sake. Oh, that's a good one.
We have a real sweet tooth, you see. So yes, we did accept a sugary red beans bun. But since we really dislike sake, we said no thank you to that. Believe it or not, we're really weak when it comes to booze. Even a tiny drop can knock us right out. So you see, I had a sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake. What? But that can't be right. The defense demands that the glass be examined right away. You amateur! Did you really think I had not already done so? Your foolishness is beyond the pale. Don't tell me. There was no trace of the witness having touched either of the glasses, naturally. Right, of course.
Miss Sykes, would you like the witness statement to be added to his testimony?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Very well. I had a sweet margin bun, but I didn't drink any sake. I don't really believe this, to be honest with you. That's not the right bun. So you didn't drink any sake, huh?
Oh boy, now we're in trouble.
That kind of answer is exactly why Sad Monk keeps insulting you. Now use your head. There are countless ways for Uendo could have gotten sake into his mouth without drinking it.
Well, I don't know about the countless part, but nothing.
Give it some thought and you'll figure something out.
So, the witness must have had something that contained sake.
So, hang on. Who's there? The evidence, not statement.
I'm out of here, man.
Hold it!
So, if you had even a tiny sip of sake, you'd conk right out, huh? That's why you didn't touch the glass that Master Tornado offered you, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Then maybe you ate something that had sake in it as an ingredient.
I don't recall doing anything like that.
He doesn't recall doing it. But that doesn't necessarily mean he didn't. He just might not have known that he did. Better take another good look at the evidence.
Sad Monk keeps insulting you, and I will keep insulting you too. I think I know what it is. It's the buns, right? The bun could have actually had alcohol in it. I'm gonna save after this part because, my god, I don't want to read the text scroll again, but I also remember this has to scroll too. Okay, now we save. Oh!
Objection!
The brand!
This shows what most likely made Uendo lose consciousness.
That note. Are you feeling lightheaded, child? Or perhaps a bit peckish?
I'm not hungry, and my head feels just fine, thank you very much. Look at the paper the snow is written on. Isn't there something familiar about it?
Camel! What exactly is your point, Defense? This faint design here reminds me of the paper from...
Yep, it's a piece of the wrapping paper on the box of manju buns by the victim on the floor. Uendo, you may have not drunk any sake, but you did eat a sweet red bean bun, right?
Well, yes, that's right.
I don't know if you're aware of it or not, Uendo, but I believe the manju you ate caused you to fall unconscious.
The bean bun? But how?
Because those buns contain a secret ingredient. A very punchy secret ingredient at that.
A punchy secret ingredient?
Yes. The design on the wrapping paper matches that of something else in that room.
It does?
The design on this object matches that of the Manju box's wrapping paper.
The camel.
Take that!
The camel pattern? This seems the one on the for the camel brand sake. So, just as Uendo said, he didn't drink any sake per se.
But he did eat some.
Impossible.
Uendo had a camel brand red bean bun, which boasts a nice shot of sake as one of its ingredients.
So the defense is claiming that Uendo passed out after consuming a camel sweet bun, which allowed a fourth personality named Owen to emerge. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. That's exactly what I'm claiming.
But there's one thing that bothers me. Wouldn't the alcoholic content of the buns evaporate as they are steamed?
In order to give them a stronger flavor, some manju are specially made to retain as much of the alcoholic content as possible. What kind of lightweight do you think I am? Even I wouldn't pass out from eating a simple manju.
Then how about we test that theory? Besides, didn't you just say a single drop could knock you out? What do you say, Your Honor?
Seeing is believing, as they say. Very well, I will allow a test.
Thanks, Your Honor. Simon, go buy us some camel manju on the double. And don't forget to give me one too, okay?
Why must I? And while you're at it, Prosecutor Blackpool, you will get one for me as well.
I'm not the courthouse stable boy, you know.
Ah, Taka. But just this once, I'll acquiesce. Taka, I'm counting on you.
Aw.
Taka!
And all of you had better pay me back.
Oh, but I thought it would be your treat, Prosecutor Blackwell. What a shame. Now then, let's adjourn to the Manju arrived by Carrier Hawk. Court will reconvene as soon as Taka returns.
Bird. Birda.
Let's continue.
No. No.
May 13th. District courtroom number 4. We're back. Hello again. Hey. Now that the sweet ones have arrived, this court is back in session.
Go on, Uendo. Eat up.
Nice flavor. It really tastes of sake. That was delicious.
Yes, a unique sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet, I hardly think that anyone could pass out from eating something like that.
What's the matter, Rando?
You're not afraid of a tiny manju, are you?
Or are you scared of how many calories it has?
Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly... I mean, it could never.
Then prove it.
Less bleeding, more eating, witness. Fine, whatever.
So? Oh dear.
See? I told you. It'll affect me so... He might be alive, right? But come on. Don't be sad,
Seriously, nobody gets drunk off a little bite.
Welp.
There we go.
Owen.
Ah! He's so small.
It looks like it worked.
Oh my. Witness, please tell the court your name and occupation.
Oh. Oh. My name is Owen. I'm 5.
You're 5 years old.
Am I in trouble? Please don't yell at me.
So he's Uendo's fourth personality. I'd hardly think a child like him could have a motive to kill, murder the victim. And even if he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder? That's a very good point. Owen does appear to be very timid and weak.
Oh. It seems the defense was hoping his hidden personality would be the real killer. But now that he is standing here before us, it's clear that none of Uendo's personalities can be the killer. Ah! Where can I even go from here? Shiso. Owen, do you know something about what happened to your master? Come on, buddy. Won't you tell Auntie Athena what happened? Less scary, lady. I'm not scary. Look at Anie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Pretty please, with sugar on top. Okay. Shisho was super nice. He always played with me. Just like a real grandpa. I love Shiso.
Athena, do you sense anything behind his words?
I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure it's heartrending, but no discord. Prosecutor Sadamati is right. Owen isn't the killer.
But then, don't you find it odd?
Find what odd?
Let's review what we've learned so far. Uendo rearranged the Karuta cards to pin the blame on Bucky.
Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old, and absolutely adores Master Tornado.
Exactly. The other three personalities also have no motive for murder. So why did it say Owen at all? My guess is he's probably the only one who knows what actually happened. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards
probably wouldn't have been Master Tornado. So then, who did it?
Defense. Did the appearance of Owen help you figure out anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was who first laid out the Karuta cards.
But I thought it was the victim, right?
No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The one who first arranged the Karuta cards on the table was none other than...
Uendo's fifth person up! We're adding a fifth. No. It would have to have been the true killer, right?
I believe the person who laid the cards out is the very person who killed Taifu Tornado.
For God's sakes! How quickly you move on to a new target when your Owen theory proves false? You Pokunan!
I don't know what a Pokunan is, but I know I'm definitely not one. And before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out?
Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you. I will kill you.
I understand, Your Honor. Wait, repeat that last... you know, on second thoughts... Now then, please, recall the original crime scene. Who threw the crew card's name when the scene was discovered? Oh.
Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Webb.
That's right. But we then found out that the message originally read Owen 4th.
Which implicated the young boy, Owen.
Exactly. And the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo.
Uendo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His sampling with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it. I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. The reason Uendo rearranged the Karuta cards and moved the TV was because he saw the Owen 4th message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime.
Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other three personalities don't share the same memories.
But really, there is no fourth personality. It's just the three of us in here.
Uendo feared that Owen had killed Master Tornado, so he tried to hide Owen from us.
Oh. But it turns out Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly, let alone his beloved master.
So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else.
And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen.
I see. It does make sense.
Objection.
I knew it.
This is not but conjecture, composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim? I believe Owen might know something about that.
Exactly. He's the one who probably knows something.
I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old no less. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent.
Objection!
That's kind of an asshole thing to say to a child.
But your desperation is disgraceful. You should realize when it is time to let it go, and... I saw it. I saw Shiso getting... Owen! You do know something, don't you? Yeah.
Oh my. Is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, Prosecutor Salamati?
Oh, I hate it here.
It's alright, Owen. Go ahead and tell us what you know.
Oh, you're so sad. It'll be okay. I saw it. Shiso was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out.
I'm sorry, Shisho had blood on his face?
This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. Owen, can you tell us anything else about what you saw? I was so scared. So scared. Owen, his emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him.
Is he alright?
His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him.
I think we need a genuine therapy session now.
I recommend a therapy session right away.
I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy.
Will do, Your Honor. I'd better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions. Pronto.
Let's help the kid out. Here we go. Here we go, buddy.
Overwhelming sadness.
Shiso was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shiso's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared. I passed out. Well, if you ask me, if you want to ask me what I think would scare a child the most, the obvious thing would of course be blood.
Got it!
So it's probably this.
Yeah, blood was dripping down into Shisho's face. Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos.
Yeah, it couldn't have been blood. So what did he see?
Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood be dripping down to his face?
I expected it. All we managed to obtain from this child is the tale he dreamt up.
Ugh, I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip into the victim's face. If he was standing up... Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something. What do you think, Simon?
Why are you asking me? I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now, so who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead.
Huh? What thing?
That thing that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking around?
Oh, you mean turn your thinking around.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing either way.
No, it isn't. I've never heard of rotating your thinking. I mean, rotate it... Hey, wait a minute.
What?
You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate might just work perfectly after all.
Come again?
All we have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been...
Oh, he was lying on the floor, wasn't he?
Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder.
What?
That's the conclusion I've arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees. Which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees.
And this creates a better picture of what happened.
This means that Master Tornado was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery.
And which mystery is that?
the mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Like someone bleeding onto Master Tornado from somewhere up above him. I remember now! Something was sitting up on top of Shisho!
That's a little bit of noise out.
So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally. The blood that stained the victim's face red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back. This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere, like the forehead, perhaps. Assuming the victim and his attacker were face-to-face, then yes.
Mierda. I see. So that is what happened.
But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not?
Yep, I was looking at that. Ah. Damn it, Bucky!
That injury of Mr. Wett's is conclusive evidence that he committed this murder.
Why?
Ugh. It seems you have dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of.
No. I figured out the reason for Owen's out-of-control motions. All I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now?
What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in the towel, are you?
It looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he has an injury on his forehead.
Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on.
Well, Miss Sykes, I understand that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason.
Well, Edward did her best, but all the signs pointing to the defense guilt. They didn't say she gave up. She tried everything she could.
I really don't want to back down, but...
Silence!
Uh-oh. Hi?
Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence?
I wouldn't say that. It's just...
Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning?
Yeah? What about it?
You mean, you believe in me, ma'am?
Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end.
Were those just empty words?
Of course not. It's just that all the cards are stacked against us.
Are you still stuck on that line of thinking?
Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky?
I'm his Miss Shiggity lawyer.
Do your duty and believe in him until the very end.
I will. Simon's absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me.
Defense team, please, no fighting in my courtroom. Put me down.
The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor.
I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wet Sober.
Yeah, I got it. The defense would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session.
Owen, would you be alright with that?
Okay. So somebody was sitting on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head, and smushing something into Shisho's face.
That's funny.
What is?
I still hear discord in Owen's voice, but I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions. There don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself, either.
Ah, so that's it, huh?
Did you figure something out?
Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. But there's actually something he's been being very vague about in his testimony. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. By the way, please never pick me up again. That was terrifying.
It was kind of fun.
I'll just update the Moon Matrix with the new information and we'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh?
What is Owen being vague about? Shisa had blood on his face and a knife in hand. I see. Something being smushy. May I ask what the murder weapon was?
Objection!
Nope. Back! Back, I say! Couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out. Somebody? Wait.
Objection!
Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo. Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where is the murder weapon you see? You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. This is what the killer pressed into the Master Tornado's face.
Sorry, I'm getting text messages now. It was...
Take that!
The mystery person that Owen saw press Soba into the victim's face. Thereby suffocating him. I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate Soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into somebody's face.
Yes, I agree.
No, I disagree. There is a way the Soba could have been used to suffocate the victim.
What? You will explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes.
To kill Master Tornado, the culprit must have smeared him with... uncooked Soba?
Nope. Uncut soba dough?
Ah, the knife. Someone must use the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough.
What? Definitely an unconventional murder weapon, but... Order! Order in the court! Yes, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it?
Are you alright, Prosecutor Salmati?
I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to the foolish lawyer before me.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Allow me to summarize your statement. Oh god. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim with was the dough in the dressing room. He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting the soba into noodles.
Oh, you smarmy!
Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth. By the way, is my butterfly
bubbling? Has this always happened? I don't recall this. Cool effect. I don't know if this means he's dangerous or something. Oh well. To wash off the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair.
Now wait just a minute. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit.
Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles, defense?
That's a very good point, Prosecutor Salamati. I heard that cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then, what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Wendo's Owen personality.
Perhaps the victim was simply playing with cards, and they held no other meaning. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest, sometime before his murder.
That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Tornado cared for the boy. Appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Taken all together, all these points paint to a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt.
Owen, is there anything else you can tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail, anything will do.
Oh, you're scaring me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I have to be gentle with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old. No need to be scared, okay, sweetie? Tell us anything you can remember.
Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me, bleeding from their head.
Owen, you saw the killer's face? I did again. So who was it, Owen? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know who it was.
I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony.
I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we are analyzing the dreams of a child. We've wasted enough of our time, Defense. Let it go and move on. Never.
No, there's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here.
Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony for us?
Okay.
I'll enter the new info and run an update then.
Shisho had blood on his face and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor and somebody was smooshing dough onto his face. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out. And when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me. How curious. Why are you happy about them? Was it someone you knew?
Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief?
The person the witness saw was no stranger, rather, it was the accused. Therefore, it's only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Events in this madness and sully your soul no more.
Owen, who did you see?
That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume.
Ah! Perfume.
It's the smell of
You can do it. Try to remember Owen.
oh, the smell of
Ah!
Owen!
It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with the trial.
Despite Owen's testimony, is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion.
But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit.
There are thousands of perfumes in the world.
It could even be the scent of the hair product the accused uses.
He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible.
The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products.
Why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky?
What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision is the accused, and no other.
Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And so, the person no one saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Wright. Huh? Huh? What? What? What the? Huh! Why are you here?
Hey! I never use air products or anything that was a smell. If I were something like that, that smell gets into the sofa. Boom! Jacket.
Wee! Soda! Thanks. Thanks? Free food! Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary?
Whatever. You didn't gotta let my sauce stink of perfume. Try to chilled soda for yourself and see.
I believe we have no choice but to try it. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Now then, let's take it in, shall we?
Slurp.
That was delightful. Well, I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in Mr. Wet's soba. Those sweet bean buns and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been.
Its texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Kurain called Banu Poon.
What you think, Miss Chickadee? My sub is pretty good, isn't it?
It's delicious. Don't you think so, Simon?
It still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine.
Blimey. But you always gotta be so hard on me.
Uh-oh. Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary again.
Rest? Hey, I don't lump a plain old weedy on no dough, you know. I'm fresh like my soba. You only soda rest. It's about the 3 freshness of soba. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil.
Bye.
Well, that was an event.
Good grief, what a defendant.
At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait. Smelly perfume? Looks like you remembered something. Very smelly perfume. Remind me of a certain somebody.
Oh? And who might that be?
There's only one person that comes to mind.
It's time to bring the true culprit out.
Very smelly perfume remind me of this person.
I think it's time we bring out the true culprit, right? Right, Garu?
Take that!
Garu Tomato? Yes, she did smell very nice, didn't she?
Just a moment, Defense. You would throw suspicion on Garu now because of a scent. Your Honor, there is no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense.
Suppose her claims have been awfully inconsistent.
But Garu could have been at the crime scene.
Yes, but...
You'll get to see those balloons of yours if you call her back to the witness stand.
Oh, for God's sake!
How vulgar! His Honor is not interested in such things!
Setting the matter of her balloons aside entirely, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Garu some questions given the circumstances. This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to kill everyone in this freaking country. In this court. Ugh.
Hello. Thank you for calling Mr. Sabo the Tanea School Rakugo back for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist y'all know and love, Garu Tornado. Do balloon.
What wonderful balloon artistry.
Your Honor, please. I beg you. Now then, what would you like me to make for you this time? Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case left me completely deflated.
Stop making balloon puns.
What? You don't find that funny? Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon?
It seems the person who murdered Master Tornado was wearing perfume.
And you were the only person I could think of who wears perfume? Wait, you mean I'm suspect now? Garu, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yes. I often play with him at Shisho's request. So that means you could have left that fake dying message, right? What? Just because I wear perfume and know Owen? You think I'm a murderer? Oh, how could you?
The witness is absolutely right. With no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child, it is outrageous of the defense to accuse this woman.
That's right. You don't have any proof.
You may step down from the stand, Garu. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime.
Wait just 1 minute. I mean, I have proof, but Owen's testimony is still...
Enough! Please feel free to leave, Garu.
I'm so close. There must be something I can do. Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, then I'll be going now.
Silence!
Thanks. Boy, Garu, you're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing, leaving halfway through? Uh-oh. Incoming! Oh! What the?
Well... There's a bandage on Garu's forehead. And since we know that Master Tornado's killer had a cut on their face somewhere...
Impossible!
How did you know, Simon?
I didn't. I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain a groundless accusation.
Well, thanks for that, man.
Your Honor, Prosecutor Saimati. The scent of perfume and injury on the forehead. These things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Garu.
Sykes. Does this mean you are formally indicting this witness for the murder of Taifu Tornado?
Shut to them!
Should your accusation prove to be false, I hope you're prepared to pay the price in full.
Simon, what price is he talking about?
I thought that should be obvious. Prosecutor Sandmonk is saying he'll see to it that you never stand in court of law again. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting.
Just whose side are you on, Simon?
Go on, then. Into the deep end with you. You really have but one choice, anyway. Well, Miss Sykes, I'm waiting.
With regards to the witness, Garu Tornado, the defense wishes to...
Final cross-examination. Time to enter the final battle. I indict you.
There's no reason for me to hold back. Not if I really believe in my client. The defense wishes to formally indict Garu Tornado for the murder of Taifu Tornado.
I've tried to be merciful. Now not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You will have plenty of time to regret your decision in the pit of hell.
Except I won't need you to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Garu Tornado. Bandages, just from a silly slip-up I made while cooking yesterday. That's all. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself on the forehead? Well, what can I say? That's what happened. You also don't have an alibi for the period before 4 p.m., do you, Garu? But... I really didn't know anything was wrong until Shiso was found dead. If you don't believe me, then with the twist. And Bloon! There you have it. An adorable little kitty. How can you suspect cutesy little Bloon arse like me, Garu, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, but could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? Don't you think I know that? You have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a great Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do stupid balloon art. I was supposed to be a Rakugo storyteller too, just like my late daddy. But Shisho told me to do balloon art instead. Guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either. So you're saying you're still gonna suspect a poor little thing like me? Yes. Please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit in Owen's testimony shared these two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for 9 little girls like you, with a twist. Uh-oh. I'ma cut you, witch. Go ahead, make me testify all you want. When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it?
Oh my. Has this got another hidden personality?
Simon, is everybody in the tornado school like this?
How should I know? I'm not part of this. I just go to eat. Here we go. What I did before the murder.
Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make my courtesy call for after my act. Shiso and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw the note Shiso left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb them, you know? The perfume Owen smelled must have been left over from when I visited.
Your crazy eyes ain't doing you any favors, madam.
So Gary was saying she went to the dressing room, but then left right away.
Don't take it out of word.
Come on, do you really think I would? I'm just trying to figure out how to get her to talk about what really happened.
Now then, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your cross-examination. All right, Missy. Here we go. I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act.
Hold it!
Courtesy call after your performance, huh? Come to think of it, Wendo mentioned making the same kind of visit. Yeah, visit to your master or and after your routine. It's just common courtesy with us Rakugars and entertainers. So that means you paid the victim a courtesy call before your performance too, right? What'd you see at that time? He was having a drink and getting himself into a festive mood. He liked to say that drinking gave him a silver tongue. So he was already drinking by then. Wendo wasn't there in the dressing room right at that time. He must have gone in there during my act, because when I went back...
Shiso and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm.
Hold it!
Do you describe how they appeared? They were both stretched out on the floor, snoozing away. So, sitting the victim up and over the table must have been the culprit's doing. After all, who wouldn't stretch out on the floor if they could take to a nap? Plus, that matches up with what Owen said in his testimony. But if he was asleep, how could you tell it was Owen? How'd you know it wasn't Wendo? I've known the guy for ages. One look at his face and I know which one I'm dealing with. I see.
Alright.
I saw the note Shiso left, so I just left. Didn't you want to disturb him, you know?
Hold it!
Where'd you find your master's note? I don't know. Can't remember. Did you notice anything else unusual or out of place in the room? Well, there was a sake and a half-eaten manju on the table. I didn't see anything else out of place or whatever in the room, though.
Oh, is that a fact?
Of course it is. What do you think?
And you didn't change anything around while you were in there?
I didn't do anything. Look, I'm telling you. I didn't see anything funny near Shiso, and I didn't touch anything in the room.
Your boss, I request that Geru's last statement be added to her testimony.
Simon, what's a statement like that going to do for us?
Let's play along and you'll see soon enough. I have no problem with adding that statement to the testimony. But how about you, Miss Sykes?
I have no problems with it either, Your Honor. What is Simon thinking?
I didn't see anything funny near Shiso. I didn't touch anything in the room. I didn't see anything funny near Shiso.
Hold it!
So, I just want to confirm. You didn't see anything at all unusual or out of place anywhere around the victim? I already told you. Nothing. And you didn't touch anything at all in the dressing room? How many times I gotta say it? No, I didn't touch anything. Wait. Is she saying she didn't see But Wendo immediately saw when he checked the victim's body? Does that mean it wasn't there yet at the time? Oh, hold on. I guess there was something. What is it? The stove-making equipment was already there in the room. That means Bucky must have been there in the dressing room before me, doing something. Thanks for the non-help. Well, a new statement has been added, but she's still sticking to her guns.
She said she didn't see anything unusual in the dressing room.
Well, that strikes me as a little strange on its own. Really? Why?
Master Tornado really is the one who left that. You'd think Geru would have noticed it.
If Master Tornado wasn't the one who left it, then we must ask who did. You know what I'm getting at, don't you, Athena? Think so. I really appreciate Simon's help, but I've gotta come up with the answer myself this time.
I think he basically just said it. There's only one thing that makes sense with what he's saying. So, something that was out of place that you should have noticed was, well,
Objection!
the cards.
Geru, you said that you didn't notice anything odd or unusual near your master. You also said that you didn't touch anything in the dressing room. That's right. What about it? Then, I wonder who left that dying message with the Karuta cards. What are you going on about? It had to have been Bucky. Wrong. Sorry, but that's not possible. Because only 3 people knew of a Wendo's personality. Wendo, your master, and you. If Bucky had left that Karuta message, he wouldn't have spelled out Owen. He would have spelled out Wendo. What it boils down to is this. As a member of the Tornado School, you, Geru Tornado, are the only one who could have left that dying message. And as the person who left that message, it's clear that you are Master Tornado's killer.
Will you ever quit your yapping?
Objection!
You are like wretches clinging to the spider thread of salvation. Allow me to cut that holy thread from the heavens and bring you back down to earth. Would you quit butting in whenever things start to go in my way? No, it's my job. Silence, child. Playtime is over. What did you just say? As the witness stated, she went to the dressing room and soon came back out again. But the victim's note was thought the only reason she was left with such haste. There was another reason that compelled Geru to leave at once. Geru, would you please relate said reason to the court? There was a reason why Geru had to leave the dressing room? Well, I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I got no choice. Keep your eyes peeled, cause here it comes.
What the?
Your hand's all swollen and red. What happened, Geru? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. What?
Bro!
Allergic reactions to buckwheat can vary, though they're usually on the severe side. Besides the tornado making soba noodles in his dressing room, Geru is lucky to still be alive, considering all the soba flour that was swirling in the air. Good thing I left pretty quick. I managed to escape with just a mild reaction. But I touched Shisho as he was being carried away, and look what it did to my poor hands. There must have been soba broth on his clothes or something. If I hadn't held any of that soba flour, I'd have had a seizure. And it'd been good night, Geru. I never could have stayed in that dressing room for very long.
Person allergic to buckwheat couldn't be in the room with soba flour in the air. And certainly couldn't use soba dough as a murder weapon either.
This isn't good.
You knew it would come to this, didn't you? That's why you never mentioned her allergy.
As if I would ever do anything so underhanded.
I was simply trying to protect the privacy of the witness.
I'm sick of all these accusations. Why don't I just testify and get it all out in the open, yeah?
Geru's buckwheat allergy.
If I come into this last contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. With that much soba flour in the air, that room could literally killed me. Look at my hand. Just touching Shisho's body caused this much damage. There must have been soba broth on his clothes. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. I still can't believe it. Nobody told me she had a soba allergy. Did you know, Simon? Does it look like I knew? Protect the privacy of the witness, my foot. What a dirty trick. Now what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. Put Prosecutor Sad Monk to shame with your cross-examination.
Right. No matter how small, I'll find us an opening and break her testimony down.
There's gotta be something here that doesn't make sense. Garu's buckwheat allergy. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction.
Hold it!
You're not lying about the soba allergies of yours, right? Of course not. I swear on the grave of my father up in heaven. I can even get you a doctor's certificate if you want. She seems to be telling the truth. I've had this allergy for as long as I can remember. But I've never dreamt in a million years it'd clear me of murder.
You'll come out of this smelling like a delicate buckwheat flower to boot.
I said, Your Honor.
I don't know about that. With that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me.
Hold it!
I'll give you that there was quite a bit of flour scattered about in that dressing room. But you went in to pay your respects to your master regardless, right? Yeah, but like I said, I came right back out. I mean, the soda-making tools were right there. You better believe I was careful not to breathe in any of it. But you still could have committed this crime if you'd held your breath while doing it. Don't be ridiculous. I would have suffocated to death before she so did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez, get a grip, will ya?
Hold it!
Maybe there's a twist here. Like you're actually allergic to dogs and not soba. You can bring my little Jugimu in here. I'll hug and squeeze him like there's no tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a genuine honest-to-God goodness soba allergy.
Defense, the witness clearly has an authentic allergy to buckwheat. Any further deliberation on the matter would be meaningless, pointless, worthless.
You heard the man, loyal girl. All right, fine. I was just starting to think the same thing myself. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though. I probably got this allergic reaction on my hand here because I touched Shisho.
Hold it!
I have a question about that, actually. If you're allergic to soba, does that mean you're allergic to the noodle broth, too? Well, the buckwheat from the noodles can be dissolved into the broth, so duh. Touching soba broth can be just as deadly for me. Don't you know anything? What an amateur. I'm sorry. Do I look like a doctor to you? Look, anything that has soba in it, or anything that has touched soba is like poison to me.
Hold it!
So, I just want to cover all my bases, but could the murder have possibly occurred somewhere other than the dressing room?
Objection!
Now you're just being ridiculous. That is not the question. Now you're just being stupid. By even asking, you show your complete disregard for all we have discussed until now. Yes, I have to agree. The defense can't go around suggesting new premises without basis.
Fortunately for you, Shisho didn't take a single step from his dressing room around the time of the murder. Well, that is unfortunate for everyone.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong here. Garu could not have possibly committed this crime in the room where soba was being made. Finally, the time has come for the last rites of the victim to begin.
What would Mr. Wright do at a time like this? August, there's only one thing to do.
What are you smiling about? Has the pressure overwhelmed you?
Nope. It's just the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
I see. You have no rebuttal, and so the only thing left to do is smile.
Oh? That's where you're wrong. I do have a rebuttal. Turn your thinking around, Athena. Don't try to figure out how Geru, who is allergic to soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Geru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead.
Let me rest? Huh. Maybe if I lump a regular flour dough for udon noodles. I'm fresh like my soda. You don't want soda dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil.
He's blacked out! Resting. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shiso was napping? If you ask no, I'm allergic to buckwheat. What? Yeah. What if that certain piece of evidence doesn't mean what we think it means? If that's the case, I might be able to prove that Geru could have committed this crime. No matter how hard you search your mind, you cannot overturn facts. Well, Miss Sykes, if you have no further objections, I'll hand down my ruling. True. I can't overturn facts. But what if we got our facts about a piece of evidence wrong? Endless agony. Gods have facts wrong? What are you talking about now? And which piece of evidence do you mean, Miss Sykes? Please point it out to this court. This evidence proves that Geru could have killed her master, even with her soba allergy. Conclusive evidence.
Take that!
I don't know what to think.
Take that!
Nope. Wrong! Wrong!
Take that!
How many pieces of evidence until I get it right? Wait.
Take that!
It's Master Tornado's note.
The note?
Preposterous. What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note? The answer lies in the true meaning of this note.
Its true meaning?
This note does not mean I am resting, do not disturb as we had assumed. Oh, it's talking about... But rather, it actually means this dough is resting, do not disturb it. Wait a minute, Athena. That doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't. After all, as Bucky told us many a time, you don't let soa dough rest. What's all this jibber-jabber got to do with anything? This is it, the home stretch. This note and Mr. Westbrook led me to the conclusion that Master Tornado was... He was making something different, wasn't he? He wasn't making soba, he was making udon. The victim, Typhoon Tornado, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead. Bakuga! That layer of flour in the dressing room wasn't soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon. So actually, it was totally possible for Geru to be in that room and kill her master.
What? But if that's true, it changes everything.
Your Honor, the defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately.
Objection!
Soba noodles were found in the bowl, and Geru did have a reaction on her hand. How do you explain those things?
Well,
Even with udon flour instead of soba, you still cannot prove Geru committed the crime.
but
Don't lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward or you'll feel my blade at your back.
enough with these threats already. I got it. Talk about pressure. Hurry, Athena. Take a deep breath and go over everything again.
It's time. The grand finale.
I'm going to revisualize the case from the start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Geru committed this murder. What was Master Tornado making in his dressing room?
He's making udon. So first off, that proves that she was able to go in.
By my logic, Master Tornado must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room. Something at the crime scene indicates otherwise. What was found in the bowl on the table? Wasn't it soba? So soba was for some reason in the room, despite the fact he was making udon. Even though the master wasn't making soba, soba noodles were found at the scene. So that means the noodles had to have come from somewhere else. Wait a minute. One mysterious serving of soba noodles? That sounds familiar. Where's the soba in the bowl on the table come from? Didn't he have a stock? Yeah. He had a stock of it. The soba noodles found at the scene were from the master's stock of uncooked noodles. Then why would the culprit go out of her way to cook that soba and put it in a bowl? Why did the culprit cook the soba noodles and put them in a bowl?
To hide the udon. The culprit wanted to hide the udon dough.
Soba was found at the scene, so that means the culprit must have taken the udon with her to hide it. But why did the culprit take the udon away to hide it? It must have been because
She killed him with the udon dough? The murder weapon was udon dough.
that's it. The udon dough was the real weapon they used to kill Typhoon Tornado. And the reason why no weapon was found is because Geru got rid of the dough somehow.
That's it. Gotcha.
The real murder weapon was the udon dough the victim made. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct. And undeniably prove Geru's guilt.
Objection!
Even if we could find this dough, what makes you think it would prove she is the one? Please recall Owen's eyewitness testimony, Prosecutor Samari. If the injury on Geru's forehead was caused by the victim's knife, then Geru's blood must have dripped down into the dough and used as the murder weapon. That would make the dough pretty conclusive evidence, wouldn't you agree?
Ah, but where is this conclusive evidence?
It's a shame that it doesn't exist. Let us hear your theory on where this murder weapon is.
Well, if I can't find the answer in the evidence I have on hand, we'll lose this trial. So how did Geru get rid of the udon dough? Think, Athena, what do I have that points to a suspicious behavior on Geru's part?
Now then, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. Where is the real murder weapon hidden? Nice barking you did there. I assume you have the bite to back it up?
Stop distracting me, especially not right now. This piece of evidence points us to the location of the hidden murder weapon.
I think I get it. The one thing that made no sense for what she was doing. Bingo.
Take that!
Simon's statement.
Geru. Huh? What is it? I'm just an innocent girl. I don't know anything about a murder. Stuff that cute act in your balloon hat. Ugh. Geru got rid of the dough she used to kill Master Tornado in a bold and daring way. She did it right in front of Prosecutor Blackwell's nose, by feeding it to her dog. No!
Of course. Now it all makes sense.
I was puzzled as to why Geru, who should know her own dog's eating habits, would feed Jugimu more than he could possibly finish.
Your Honor, please order an investigation of the yard right now.
And what should the police at the theater be looking for exactly?
Jugimu must have buried his leftover dumplings somewhere around his doghouse. Dumplings that Gera made out of the udon dough with her blood on it.
This is preposterous.
I want to thank you, Simon. If you hadn't kept me going, I might have given up along the way.
What are you blathering on about? You still have work to do.
Now, by your hand, finish this wretched case off, Athena.
You got it.
Let's end this.
Gera, do you remember what you said would happen when the truth is finally revealed? When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it?
I think it's about time.
Well, now the truth's out, it looks to me like it's your balloon that goes pop.
Bingo. Bye-bye.
I'm a Rakugo artist. I was the one who's supposed to inherit that name. Then she so...
Poppity. Pop.
Where are my balloons bursting? Daddy, are you mad at me? I've been a bad girl.
Uh-oh. Oh, dear. No comment. Oh.
Oh,
Well then.
are you ready to tell us everything now, Garo? The whole reason I entered the world of Rakugo in the first place was to follow my father's wonderful footsteps and inherit his stage name. His stage name? You don't mean...
Uendo Tornado.
I knew I wasn't very good at storytelling, but I thought that if I did the stupid balloon thing like Shisho wanted, I'd inherit the name someday. But Master Tornado gave the name to his junior disciple. Yeah, that's why I took my revenge on Shisho during the show celebrating the name succession. So that was your entire motive? I doubt anybody else could understand, but inheriting my father's name was everything to me. It's my whole reason for living.
All the days you could have taken your revenge. Why did you choose the day of the show?
Because I wanted to pay Uendo back for stealing what was rightfully mine. I wanted to pin the blame on him at the show where all the Tornado fans were gathered. But then Uendo tried to shift the blame onto Bucky Wet. And now we know the whole story.
There's just one more thing I want to know. Did you know Master Tornado was making udon in his dressing room yesterday?
No, I didn't. When I saw it soap making tools, I was worried about my allergy. But it was my only chance to get my revenge on the two of them. So I went in and did it.
So it was a premeditated crime. But in the end, you only went through with it on impulse. Then, the allergic reaction on your hand... Is it from touching the soba in the refrigerator with your bare hands? When you were tampering with the crime scene after your master's death?
Yeah. By that time, I wasn't clear-headed enough to worry about my allergy.
Geru, how could you do all this, you idiot?
Garo, I get your desire to inherit your father's name. But what you really should have inherited from him wasn't his name, but his heart. His heart?
Well, how you feeling, Satomati? 4 losses now. Do you have anything to add, Prosecutor Satomati? Any objections? No, Your Honor. I just want to leave this country again.
Miss Athena Sykes. Yes? That's the first time he's used my name.
I shall be sure to remember your name. Well, it's something.
Really?
It seems he finally recognizes you as a proper adversary.
Thanks. That's all I ask, Prosecutor Sabmati.
It looks like there are no further objections. Bailiff, please bring in the defendant. Make sure he doesn't throw up, please. Oh, wait. Wait, you're actually sober now, it looks like. Ah, good. Seems you have made a full recovery. Now then, this court finds the defendant, Bucky Wet, not guilty. Yippee! Look at how tall I didn't realize how tall his freaking stack would be. Yippee! I hate this place. The scores adjourned. Bye-bye. That was a fun case. May 13th, 11:55 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 6.
Congratulations, Bucky. I'm so glad you were found innocent.
Thanks for everything, Miss Chickadee.
But it still sucks that you were accused of a crime you didn't commit. Did Uendo have it out for you or something?
I don't think so.
Uendo said it was a spur-of-the-moment idea he got when he saw the sober-themed cards.
Simon, where have you been?
I stopped into Uendo's questioning. Only you, Bucky, could get framed for a crime on a whim.
No way. I almost got convicted out of convenience.
Well, at least you've been completely cleared of all charges, so buck up, Bucky. One more important note. What I really want to know is, why didn't Master Tornado let Geiru inherit her father's name?
What do you mean, on a more important note, Miss Chickadee?
Don't be such a wet blanket. Just go with the flow. Now, come on. You think the Master was trying to encourage her to quit the entertainment business?
Nah, that's not it. He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Geiru to find... He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Geiru to find her own calling in life. To perform whatever she wanted without being bound by her father's name or Rakugo. But making Udon was his way of showing his support for her in her new endeavor.
So that's why he called you to the theater, huh? To teach him how to make udon?
A more roundabout way I've never seen, but that's Master Tornado for you.
So this entire incident happened because of a misunderstanding? How sad.
By the way, Geiru wasn't the only person Master Tornado was trying to cheer on. Even though the person in question still seems unaware of the Master's intention.
What? You talking about me? Come on, no way. All that old man ever did was criticize my soba.
That's not true, Bucky. There must be a way to make Bucky see just how much Master Tornado cared about him.
Take that!
I think it's this.
Take a good look, Bucky. Whose name is on there as the holder of this title deed?
It's still my name.
Master Tornado was just up to one of his tricks when he said he stole the shop from you. He was trying to force you to grow into a truly capable owner in your father's stead.
He probably used some tough love on you so the shop wouldn't just go belly up.
Aw,
I see. I never knew. Oh, Master Tornado, I'm so sorry.
keep working hard, Bucky, and pay him back by living up to his expectations. There we go.
Thanks, Simon. And you too, Miss Chickadee. One day, my soba's gonna be so good it'll knock that old man's socks clean off. After all, I'm the 4th generation owner of Wet Soba. Wet Noodle number 4. Well, I better be getting back to my shop. I gotta get ready for the lunch rush.
Hold on. Can I place an order for delivery, Bucky?
Yes, Miss Chickadee.
Could you deliver a bowl of udon to Geiru on behalf of her master?
You got it. I'll make sure it's got all the TLC Master Tornado would have packed into it, too.
Thank you.
Well, see you. Be sure to drop by the shop sometime.
I will. And I'll bring the whole agency with me.
Do us all proud, Bucky. I'll have the best soba in town waiting for you when you come. Peace out. See ya!
Ah, It's nice to see somebody giving it their all, isn't it? I wonder if I leveled up any thanks to this case.
Don't kid yourself. The trial would have been a spectacle and a half had I not been by your side.
You don't know that.
For a lawyer who's versed in psychology, you're too full of weak points. You need to learn to analyze yourself more objectively.
Or you could just teach me your famous mind tricks, Simon.
No,
Well, you shut someone down, and why not?
because the more pesky lawyers there are, the harder my job becomes. You think I want to deal with another me? I understand how much of a pain in the ass I am. You think I want to deal with that on the defense side? No, thank you. I'll just continue to make fun of you instead. So it's in my best interest for you to remain green forever.
Hey, what about that? What about what's in my best interest, huh? Besides, weren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by a window?
Must you remind me? How could I have known Window would do time sober?
Hey, speaking of time sober, I just thought of something funny.
Oh, goody. I can't wait.
Okay, here it is. In time sober, why didn't Mon number 9 get counted? Come on, do you know, Simon?
How should I know?
Because 789. Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Say your prayers, Athena. No! Widget, shut up! That I should have known. Come on. Let's go get soba or something and go home.
Your treat?
I'll treat you to 50% off of the tab. And don't forget, you still owe me for that manju.
Really, Simon? It wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me every once in a while, you know?
Athena, I got out of jail last game. I don't know how much money I have, but it's probably not a lot. I spend it all on just looking cool. Quit squawking and start walking, Athena.
Hey, wait for me! I may still have a ways to go as a lawyer, but just like Mr. Wright, Apollo, and Simon before me, I'm going to get there someday. After all, I've inherited their passion for courts and the law. I can do this.
I really like that case. It's a lot of fun. And probably more simple compared to the other cases so far, but I still like it. And honestly, a case like this also does make me hope for, in the future. I do still think that if they're going to make more Phoenix Wright games, the next step would be do an Athena Sykes trilogy. They do a trilogy with Phoenix Wright for the first trilogy. They do a trilogy for Apollo for the second trilogy. And I think it would be smartest to do a trilogy for Athena for the third trilogy. I feel like that just makes sense, honestly. I do hope that one day we do get more Phoenix Wright games, honestly. I don't care how long it takes, just one day, please. But I think that's going to be where we end it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.